ESPN 710, Los Angeles Sports.
And it is the biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland is on for your Thursday afternoon.
Ireland, best show on the radio.
Here we go, Thursday with the Hall of Famers. Well, at least one of them. Johnny I's here. Mace Vacation Week rolls on. And Ramona Shelburne, Momo, is sitting in for Mace. On a great day to have Momo here because the Lakers have moved up. With the trade with the Bulls, they move up tonight for the NBA Draft Round 2 at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn. They go from 55 to 45. What do the Lakers and Rob Pelinka see on that draft board? If they wanted 45, we'll find out tonight, and we'll talk about it all afternoon long as we get you set for the NBA Draft. Plus, so much more, and it's a Ticket Thursday. So listen all afternoon. Don't touch the button, yo. Let's do it. The biggest show on the radio. Mason and Ireland with Momo here Thursday afternoon right now.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Hey, look, it's Momo.
Woo, I'm back.
You know,
I'm back
you
in
and
LA.
I know we haven't done a show together in
my
forever.
God.
We talk and we text, but we haven't got to do this,
I
and
know.
I'm quite excited about it. We've got this
Me
show.
too.
This show is loaded. We're both big Christine Brennan fans. She's written a book on Caitlin Clark. Christine's coming on at 2:00. But there's so much stuff, Momo, that I want to get into that I haven't texted and asked you about because I knew this was happening. I knew we had 2 shows coming up this week. And let's start with the draft. Here's something I don't understand, and maybe you can shed some light on it. I don't think Giannis is asking for a trade. I really don't. I think he's going to stay in Milwaukee. That's just what I'm hearing.
I kind of think so, too.
But if I were the Mavericks, okay, and what Milwaukee needs are draft picks and young guys, I would have given them Cooper Flagg, a number 1, and some expiring contracts for Giannis, and paired up Giannis, Anthony Davis, and Kyrie Irving in Dallas. Wouldn't they be favored to win?
Ooh. So, okay.
And apparently Dallas is gun shy to not
I think that's what it
Cooper
is.
Flagg because they're worried that if he turns into be the next Luka,
he might.
They won't survive it.
Yeah, but I feel like Nico is the kind of guy that is not. He's not going to run scared. I think he was confident in his decision. I think he's still confident he did the right thing. I think where they messed it up was the execution of it, right? They didn't get enough. And also I think the messaging afterwards was off. But I think with...
Do you think the fact that they
I don't know that
underestimated...
I don't know that I would trade Cooper Flagg.
Even for Giannis?
It's hard.
You know how good Giannis is?
I know, he's really good. Maybe I would.
And he's 30.
Yeah, but like...
But Michael said yesterday that he would not trade Cooper Flagg. He wants Cooper Flagg.
I know. If people really think he's going to be like Tim Duncan or something. He's going to be like this. I mean, because, so I just got back from the finals, and I was talking to people before. I always write this story after the finals, which is like, here's who won the whole, this is your life. You know, the Indiana Pacers, you've won the title. This was your life, right? The celebratory kind of, and it comes up the next morning, and so because it was a game 7, I had to have 2 stories working. Like, I have to report out 2 stories. And I remember calling somebody, it was a very high-ranking NBA person, and I said, what do you think the story is of these teams or these finals? And they said, 100%. The story is that the leading player on both of these teams was traded once. That never happens. When you have the guy, you don't trade the guy. And it's malpractice to trade the guy. So the fact that the Kings traded Halliburton and the Clippers traded Shea, and they A, didn't recognize he was the guy, and B, they traded him. He's like, I can't believe it.
I'm glad you brought this up.
Okay.
I'm going to say something that might surprise you.
All right.
I don't think it's fair to criticize the Clippers for that trade. I just don't. They had a chance to get Kawhi Leonard and pair him with Paul George. And nobody knew Shea was this. They knew he was good.
The Thunder.
Even Chris Paul, who had him as kind of an underling, said he's great. But nobody thought he was going to turn out to be Chris Paul, and he might be better than Chris Paul.
Oh, yeah, I think he is.
So now, and everybody's saying, oh, the typical Clippers are going to clip.
Yeah.
They're thinking it was back to your Clippers where you did your clip show and Donald Sterling and all those idiots. But if take me to 2019.
Yeah.
if I'm the Clipper GM, I make that trade. I know it's in vogue to rip the Clippers, especially around here. I don't think it's fair to rip them for this.
I know, and in hindsight, we look back and go, they should have called Kawhi Leonard's bluff. He was never going to the Lakers. He always wanted to go to the Clippers. They should have just called their bluff and gotten a little less. Because, like, I look back on the most famous trade in Clipper history, the Chris Paul trade. And Neil Olshey was the GM there, and they had the inside track on trading for Chris Paul, and the NBA was kind of running the Pelicans at the time. They had some offer, and Neil Olshey said no. That's just one too many pieces. That's one too many things. He called their bluff. They lowered the offer. They ended up getting him for a price they could live with. And I think the Clippers probably, if you look back on it, probably should have done the same thing. Kawhi Leonard, I blame Kawhi for that trade, to be honest, because he was the one who was putting the pressure on the Clippers to trade for Paul before he would sign with them as a free agent.
I disagree with you that they should have called his bluff, and here's why. He had all the leverage. He was an absolute unrestricted free agent. So if they say, no, we're not going to trade the moon and the stars and the sun for Paul George, and Kawhi says, okay, and he signs with the Lakers, even though you don't think he would have done it. If he does that, the Clippers are left with nothing. Literally nothing.
It's nothing, but...
And I thought, if you have an opportunity to pair... Paul George and Kawhi, those are the best two wings in the league at that point.
Yeah, everybody was picking them.
I
didn't pick them, but I remember thinking they were going to be really good. But I remember, I just think they gave up. It was just too much in aggregate. It was just too much.
It was a massive haul.
Yeah,
for
I mean,
OKC.
Oklahoma City is still getting draft picks from them.
Yeah, I know.
You know, and it's rough for them. And it was the player empowerment era, and so it was a totally different thing where players could dictate those kind of terms.
Well, by the way, that's still happening. Ramona, I stood up on these desks and screamed at all these people when we were talking about Kevin Durant, and I said, if you think Kevin Durant is going to end up anywhere but on one of those three teams on his preferred list, you are not paying attention. Right. And he blew up the Minnesota deal. Yep. He blew up the Golden State deal. Right. And he got exactly what he wanted. And they didn't even strip mine the Rockets to do it.
No, there was other deals out there. Atlanta was in on that. Cleveland was in on that. Toronto. There was a lot of other teams that wanted Kevin Durant that Phoenix would have got a lot more from. And they totally could have done that, but those teams weren't going to give up as much if they knew Kevin wasn't going to be happy and he wouldn't resign. So to bring back to your original question about Cooper Flagg, would I trade that guy? It depends on how I feel about Cooper Flagg. Like, if you have the guy, like there's only a few of those. And Giannis is one of those, by the way. Giannis is one of those guys.
Yep. It's
really hard to trade the guy. If you have Steph Curry, if you have Tim Duncan, if you have LeBron, if you have, those are the kind of mistakes that can haunt your franchise for decades.
Right. The problem is nobody knows just how good Cooper Flagg is going to be.
We don't know.
And I heard when Andrew Wiggins came out, he was a can't miss multi-time All-Star. Yeah. He's been in an All-Star game, but he's not can't miss. I remember when Kevin Love came out of college, everybody said, guy is going to be a guaranteed surefire Hall of Famer. He could make the Hall of Fame.
I think he'll make the Hall of Fame,
But he's not LeBron.
No.
And everybody is like, the other day.
That's a good point.
The other day, we were talking about Brian Scalabrine was on Sirius or on Yahoo, and he says, Cooper Flagg's the next LeBron. You guys aren't paying attention. You know how unfair that is to say somebody's the next
LeBron?
Not
the next LeBron. Come on.
LeBron is one of the three greatest players ever to play.
Yeah.
I mean, I hope Cooper Flagg is that.
I think he's really good. I don't know how good.
I think to call him that at 18 years old is insane.
Yeah, I agree.
So
the one thing I will say about him, and this is what I would give me pause about trading him, is just the defining characteristic that everybody says about Cooper Flagg is how competitive he is. That's everything.
Yeah.
You know, LeBron was an athletic marvel. He was a physical marvel. He also was super competitive. Same thing about Kobe.
Yeah.
Like, when somebody has that drive, that's one of those that I would be scared to trade.
All right, Ramona's here. Laura's here today. Kasim, how you doing? Kasim Diakate is in for Brian. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good to have you, man.
Good.
So coming up next, Ramona is uniquely qualified to talk about this Lakers sale because you've actually had conversations and have a relationship with Mark Walter. I now believe some things about the sale that I didn't believe a week ago when it broke. I'm going to bounce them off you next. Momo in for Mase, Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
And breaking NBA draft news for tonight. The Lakers are moving up in the second round of the NBA draft, acquiring the number 45 pick from the Chicago Bulls and trading the 55th and some cash, according to Shams at ESPN. We're talking about what it means for tonight. And don't forget, you can hear the second round of the draft starting at 4:30 p.m. today on 710 ESPN and the ESPN radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
It's a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Listen all day for your cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. That's 877-710-3776 to win a pair of tickets to Paul versus Chavez Jr. It's all happening this Saturday, June 28th at the Honda Center in Anaheim. Listen for your chance to win, or you can get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours presented by Delta Airlines, which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit Crypto.com Arena/tours for more info.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Hey, it's Cap. Inheriting a home can be overwhelming, but Seller's Advantage makes it easy. One customer shared, quote, inheriting a home felt like too much work. Seller's Advantage gave us a reasonable offer, handled everything, and closed in 3 weeks. I highly recommend them. Skip repairs and headaches. Call Seller's Advantage today at 888-390-AS-IS or visit sellersadvantage.com for your free cash offer.
DRE number 01961658.
Don't worry, sell happy with Seller's Advantage.
Adam Schefter here for Vivid Seats, your ultimate destination for all your sports and concert needs this summer. With a game-changing rewards program and an unbeatable selection of tickets, they make it easy for every fan to watch their favorite teams and players in action. Catch every home run and thrilling comeback in person from your favorite seat. Plus, every ticket is backed by a 100% buyer guarantee, giving you peace of mind with every purchase. Visit VividSeats.com or download the app today. Vivid Seats, the official ticketing partner of ESPN.
Evan Cohen here. Whether you're locking in your home run picks or riding with your favorite golfers this summer, ESPN Bet is your sportsbook for all the action. Go from checking stats on your favorite teams and players to placing bets in just a few taps. Plus, new customers can get $100 in bonus bets when you make your first $10 wager. Download the ESPN Bet app and sign up with promo code USL to get started today. Must be 21 plus. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. Terms and conditions apply. See app for details. Offer not available in New York.
Mason in Ireland on LA's mega sports station.
Oh my, am I really on Mason in Ireland show?
Yes.
This is a great moment. Hey.
Right now, more of Mason in Ireland on 710.
Yeah, draft day, Johnny Manziel. 5 years later, how am I the man still? Draft day.
Mason in Ireland. What is this, Kasim?
This is Drake draft day.
Mason in Ireland.
We're playing
Momo.
Drake on this show?
I guess so.
I mean, because I feel like that's a statement. Like, if you're going to play Drake after what's going on.
Now you got to play Kendrick.
Right?
Yeah,
no, you don't.
Kasim, you already failed.
I think a year's passed. Like,
no.
Really?
You
See,
have
I
failed,
like this
sir.
because this is kind of like the I don't want to take a side in the Drake Kendrick thing. Like, I think Kendrick won, clearly.
I think
Case
so
closed.
too, yeah.
But I also feel like Drake makes good music, and I feel like I don't like cancel culture. So this is like us taking a stand against cancel culture.
I hate
Right?
cancel culture
I'll take it.
almost
Yeah.
as much
Yeah.
as anything. I really do.
Me too. I hate it.
Matter of fact, I think
People make mistakes. Say you're sorry. Let's
Yep.
move on.
Yeah, I actually
You
think
know?
that our most recent elections are a blowback on how much
100%.
cancel culture was going on. I think that people want people that are just not looking to cancel people now.
Yeah.
At least I'm that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so when the Lakers sale happened, it was a week ago yesterday. It was
God,
last
is that how long it
Wednesday.
was?
Yeah.
Whew.
We were.
I've been in like 5 cities since
Yeah,
then.
I know. We were live at a listener's house as part of the Children's
remember,
Hospital
yeah.
thing. And we were texting with you, and we were texting with other people, and it's like, okay, this sale is going to go down. And when I first heard it, I went, okay, what I'm scared about is the Mark Cuban scenario.
Yeah.
That they'll announce a sale, they'll say all the
Yep.
right things, they'll say, Mark Cuban will still be in charge of basketball and run the team, and then a month later he's out.
Right.
And I thought, my experience in life has been once you give up control, once you sell the team, they can give you a figurehead position, but you don't really control anything. After talking to, and you and I have talked to a lot of the same people, I now believe that Jeannie is actually going to keep running the team, and I think she's going to be doing it for years, not months. I think that at least 2 to 3 years, it's going to be business as usual. Do you agree with that?
I agree. I think it could be up to 5 years, and I think it'll be more on her if she ever doesn't want to do it anymore.
I agree.
But here's how I've explained this. This was a brand deal. They didn't get Crypto.com. Like
Right.
they, I guess they have a practice facility.
AEG still owns that.
Yeah, AEG still owns that. Although we'll see what happens. Mark Walters smart
Yeah,
enough
he's
to figure
always
that
moving.
out. I think
Yeah.
he'll probably figure out how to get that. But I think what Mark has understood, and he's been observing the way the Lakers have been run for the last 4 years.
He's been a minority owner
Yeah,
that
I
whole
see him at
time.
games all the time.
Yeah.
And he'll go. He sits on. I think he's been. I don't know if he's been to a board of governors meeting, but I think he has. And I know he's definitely been under the hood in terms of the books and how the business is run. My sense in just talking to Mark, knowing Mark in over the years, not necessarily specifically about this deal, but over the years, the Lakers are, and this is where I like to push back. The Lakers are a really good business. I know everybody wants to talk about their like mom and pop, etc. They make a lot of money.
Well, and
I have the
they
revenues.
have the greatest TV deal in the
It's
history
the greatest
of the NBA.
TV. They're top 3 in revenues.
Yeah.
Top 3. So even though you can say like, oh, they're not making as much, I think they're leaving a lot of money on the table. And I definitely think they should own their own stadium. That's where you're leaving the most money on the table. But there's a reason why they don't, and I can explain that if you want me to get into it. I think they had an opportunity to go to the Forum at one point.
Right.
And if they would have done that, they could own at least half of the stadium. But they chose not to do it because at the time, Phil Anschutz was the minority owner. So you don't want to mess with somebody who owns 26% of your team, who's also your landlord.
But Phil sold his shares to Mark Walter, didn't he?
Right, but then when they had the chance to go to the Forum and own half of it, Phil was still in charge.
Gotcha.
See what I mean?
Yep.
And so that would be bad business. And one thing that I think the Buss family has always been very good is being a good business partner. And so I understand why they ended up where they are in terms of the stadium deal. But Mark will make a whole lot more money for them, and he'll turn it into a different kind of thing, just like he has with the Dodgers. But they make a lot of money, and I think he's observed how well that Jeannie has built that brand. And we talk about brand deals, right? Like when you're a YouTube creator, right, and people offer you money to promote your product, to promote their product, right? Why are they offering you money? Because you have a platform and because you have a good brand that they want to associate with, a sponsorship deal, etc. The Lakers have one of the most impressive brands in all of sports. And who has been responsible for creating that? The Buss family. And Jeannie's been in that role as the president and as the governor, etc., for 30 years. 40 years, I think.
Yeah, and I actually think it is going to be business as usual for the foreseeable future. How do you think Mark Walter, as the new owner, puts his fingerprints on the Lakers in the short term over the next couple of years? Or does he do anything?
I don't know if he does anything. I think he evaluates for another couple of years. I think that he'll let Jeannie do what she's been doing now. The part where I'm wondering where things change, okay, is let's say there's another Luka trade, Let's say there's a big decision to make. At some point, like, I don't think Mark Walter was in the loop on the Luka trade in the first place, right? But what happens if there's another one? What happens if Giannis is up for grabs? Like, somehow they might get in on that. Or what happens if, let's just pick another, star player. Is Mark, who's making the final call on that? Who's making?
Well, I think Mark has to sign off on it.
Yeah.
But if they bring it to him and they say, okay, here's what we've worked out, I can't see him saying no.
Yeah.
But
is it a collaborative thing between those two? Does Jeannie have the final say on a trade? Does Mark have the final say on a big trade? I don't think it would come up for a smaller trade, but on a big trade, that's where I'm going to be curious how that works.
My sense of it is if, like, let's say a big trade came up today.
Yeah.
And they had a chance
Jeannie
to go get somebody.
Yeah.
And Jeannie says, Rob goes to Jeannie and says, here's the trade I've worked out. And Jeannie then would go to Mark and say, hey, here's what we've worked out and we want to do it. What do you think? I think Mark says, I think you do what you want.
Yeah, that's right. And because both of them are very good at trusting the people they have in the positions of power. Like Jeannie, if Rob recommends something, she'll talk it through with him, et cetera. But I think she trusts her basketball people.
So when years ago, a friend of mine took over the LA Times magazine and she goes, can you write feature stories for me? I said, sure. So I wrote maybe 7 or 8 feature stories for him. One was on the Bus family. And so I interviewed all the kids. And she goes, I want to see what happens. And so I went to Jeannie and I go, what's the best piece of advice that you've ever gotten from your dad? And she said, that's easy. And I said, what is it? She said, go get the best people you can find and then get the hell out of the way.
Yeah.
And I thought, she goes, the worst thing you can do is hire good, talented people and then not let them do the job you hired them to do.
Yeah.
So I think that's going to continue.
And I think Mark is the same way. Like, there's, Andrew Friedman will tell you this story. Like, he says, like, I'm going to pepper you with questions all the time. I'm going to be involved. I might have crazy ideas. I want you to feel free to ignore all of them.
Right.
Just do what you're going to do. Just ignore all of my crazy stuff because you're great at what you do.
And I would like to see, like, I'm a little surprised. The Lakers did make a small move today. They moved up 10 spots. Tonight they did have the 55th pick. Now they have the 44th pick.
Yeah,
45th.
Something like that.
And they gave up some money to get it.
That's such an amazing thing that somebody would just do a trade for money. The Bulls.
Well, it's what I think that is. The Lakers have their eye on somebody or multiple people, and the Bulls don't.
Yeah.
So they said, why not take the money? I
guess.
Yeah.
But in this day and age in the NBA, especially for a team like Chicago, like, come on, you're Chicago. You're a top 5 city.
Right.
What are you doing?
Hey, have you heard this? It's a very small drumbeat, but it's small. That Lonzo could end up back here?
Yeah. Yeah.
I would really like that if we could work it out. I like Lonzo.
So I do too. I did a whole thing with him this year about his comeback. Like his comeback from what he's been through with his knees is one of the most amazing stories in sports. I can't believe that he's made it back. I mean, he basically had a knee injury that no doctor could fix. No doctor even understood it. And he got a cadaver something and put it in there. There was actually
did a couple of Hail Marys there.
Yeah, and it took him he missed an entire 2 years. I mean, that was unbelievable that he made it back from that. And he's just a smart basketball player, and he's fixed his shot.
Right.
But I wonder at what cost is that? Is that they need another ball handler? Or is that costing Austin Reeves? What is that?
I don't think you would have to give up a player like Austin to get Lonzo, but you'd probably have to give up picks of some type. But let's see.
I don't know. Maybe I think it's second round picks. I don't think it's first round.
Yeah, that's what I think too. All right, coming up next, we're going to spin the wheel of questions. Laura will get to that. And then I mentioned that in another lifetime I used to write feature stories. That's Ramona's specialty.
Yeah.
You don't see as many of those anymore.
Oh, I don't do those as much.
And there's a reason, and we'll get into that too. Momo in for Mase, Mason in Ireland, ESPN LA.
And breaking NBA draft news for tonight. The Lakers are moving up in the second round of the NBA draft, acquiring the number 45 pick from the Chicago.
Why do we grill to order at Waba Grill? It's just better for you. Download the Waba Rewards app or order online at wabagrill.com. Waba Grill, it's for you.
ESPN Radio Tile on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Listen all week to Sedona and Cap for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to the biggest pro wrestling convention this Saturday, June 28th at Hilton LAX. Listen for the cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. That's 877-710-3776 to win 2 tickets with VIP access to LAX Fan Fest plus 1 autograph by Ahmad Johnson. Listen to Sedona and Cap for your chance to win or visit fanfestlax.com for tickets.
Flip-flops on. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
The Summer Bash. Live entertainment, carnival food, and freebies all weekend long.
Number 2.
Mosen's Happy Hour, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m. and Friday, noon to 5 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
The $50,000 giveaway. 16 table gamers get $2,500 in promo chips, 6 to 9 p.m. And one winner gets 10 grand cash at 10 p.m. the 29th.
Morongo. Good times.
Hey, it's John Ireland. Check out this true crime story. An IT manager came in on Monday, tried to log in, and couldn't. A ransom message popped up, all company data, customer files, bank info, everything was locked. If they didn't pay $250K in Bitcoin, it would all be wiped. Protect your business with Thrive, America's leading managed security provider. Start with a free cyber risk assessment at thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN.
Prescriptions require an online consultation with a healthcare provider who will determine if appropriate restrictions apply. See website for details and important safety information. Price varies based on product and subscription plan.
Hey guys, let's talk ED because millions of men experience it. But not everyone can access or afford treatments like Viagra. Well, Hims can help. Through Hims.com, you can get a full range of treatment options for ED, including daily or as-needed meds through a 100% online process. It all starts with an online intake form. Get started at hims.com/joy, and from there, a medical provider licensed in your state will determine if ED treatment is right for you. If prescribed, your medication is shipped to you for free. Find the ED treatment that fits your needs with options up to 95% less than the brand names. Millions of men experience ED, but Hims can help. To start your free online visit and save up to 95%, go to hims.com/joy. That's hims.com/joy for your free online visit. HIMS.com/JOY.
And it is the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland, here each weekday. You know what it's time for? What is this? It's time for Wheel of Questions. Producer Brian Cohen, are you ready with that wheel? Hit it, Jack.
That's a dumbass question.
Oh, we both hit it. Hysteria. You know what? For once, I might agree with Stephen A. because the wheel landed on this, and I'm a little bit surprised. All right, guys. So another one bites the dust. Another Hollywood couple has broken up. Katy Perry and Orlando Bloom, after 9 years together and a daughter, have called it quits.
Oh, man.
I actually thought these.
I'm bummed about this.
Yeah, I thought they were going to last, but
Me too.
Here we are. So, do you guys believe that celebrity couples are doomed to fail?
It's harder if you're both celebrities because somebody normally needs to take a subservient role, needs to sit in the back seat. And
especially if you have kids, yeah.
If you have Orlando Bloom and Katy Perry, who's the A and who's the B there?
Right. Well, it's also like if you have kids, and I say
I'm
this
a little
as a
worried
working
with
mom,
this
okay?
with Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift.
Yeah.
That they're both A's.
I'm not worried about that one as much because he's going to retire soon.
Right.
So he's going to be, and he'll have a media career, but it won't be like hers. You know, like he'll work for either a TV thing or he'll just keep doing his podcast with his brother or something, and that's it. But I think that especially when kids are involved, like I'm the working mom. Okay, so I know what it's like. Even I was just telling you guys, like when I travel, I fly home on the off days.
Right.
Like I can go 4 or 5 nights away from my kids, and then at some point they're like, "Your mom, you got to come back."
You married the right guy.
Yeah.
Nevin is super supportive, and you guys work together, and you know that.
Yeah,
but,
he can hold it down on the home front.
Right,
you know?
and he's not going to be like jealous or mad. He's like super supportive of you. I wonder in the Orlando Bloom, Katy Perry dynamic, who was willing to stay home with the kids, so to speak.
Yeah.
And but I mean, let's face it, they're both great looking. They'll
be fine.
Yeah, they're neither one of them's going to stay single very long.
Yeah,
that's for sure.
I'm looking forward to her revenge album.
Well, they'll do it.
Yeah.
Like that's the risk of dating Taylor Swift. Is that you'll be the subject of a
revenge album? Yeah.
I'm really hoping Rich Paul and Adele stay together, or else Adele's going to make a whole album about Rich.
Yeah.
But hopefully it all works. I don't know, Laura. Why do you think celebrity couples break up as much as they do?
Personally, I think it's just schedule conflicts because they work so much that they don't see each other, and if you don't invest in your relationship, it's doomed to fail. That's anybody.
Somebody needs to be willing to, like Mason and I often joke that our respective spouses run our lives. I mean, like Juan does all the books, makes all the travel plans. That's the same thing with Lisa. We just all Mason and I do is work.
Yeah.
And in Mace's case, he works and goes on a lot of vacations,
I don't
which are
think
all set
Mace
up by
does is
Juan.
work.
Well, he goes on a lot of vacations. He takes 10 weeks off a year.
I mean, the guy sleeps 10 hours a night.
Right. But that's, to his credit, that's what he wants.
I think he's winning at life. I think
I
he's
do too.
doing it right.
I've told him that for years.
We're all off. He's
100%.
Yeah, we're all idiots.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like he's doing it right.
Yeah, and I'm not sure that he hasn't figured it out, and we're all dopes.
Yeah.
Okay. Momo, I saw this and I thought of you because you have written many long profiles. I remember one time you went to Australia with Ronda Rousey.
Yes.
And did a long form piece. You once spent a couple days in a brothel on a long form piece on Lamar Odom.
Yeah.
So I was listening. I'm a big podcast consumer.
Yeah.
I was listening to this podcast with Pablo Torre and Mina Kimes, both who came from that world. They both used to write. Pablo worked for Sports Illustrated. Mina worked for ESPN. They both used to write those long form.
Yeah, and Pablo wrote for ESPN the magazine too.
Yeah, those long form pieces.
They're called access stories.
Right, that we're talking about, and with good reason.
Yeah.
And you don't see them anymore.
Not
and
as many.
I thought, why is that? And then Mina, when she said this on the podcast, a light bulb went off. Here's why you don't see any more of those deep dives on athletes, those stories like Ramona used to do. And
they're still there, but not to the same
extent.
extent.
Tell me if you agree with Mina about this.
I did a profile on Luka Doncic, and I went to Spain, and I was there for 4 days, and I spent 3 of the days just waiting to see Luka Doncic, to the point where I had to basically jump into his car in Spain to because I was I need time. I need to see this guy. So much of being a athlete profile writer was I think it's gotten way, way worse now. Well, maybe it's flipped around, and I don't know. I actually can't speak to it with terms of access. But we were writing from 2008-ish, 7-ish through 2016-ish or whatever.
Yep.
And it's kind of like a turning point, I think, in how athletes are covered and written about generally, which is to say, before that, access profiles were everywhere. It was just a thing. It was part of being a famous athlete was a big, capital J journalists would come write about you and spend time with you. And then around that time, I think some athletes thought, well, do I really need this? Because I have my own social media. I might have my own documentary company. I'm in charge of production. Why do I want to make myself vulnerable?
I think, Ramona, she's 100% right. I think that most profiles, if you and I decided we wanted to go write a profile on anybody, on LeBron, on Luka, chances are once we contact their people, the answer is no.
That's right.
Because athletes can get to people directly now through their own social media channels. So do you think it's the end of those long form pieces because we can't get access anymore?
Okay. Yes and no. I think it's changed in that I can still get access to someone who's famous. I just can't get access to people who are super famous. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like Taylor Swift wouldn't say
there's
yes.
a no.
Okay.
But there's a woman. Do you know this woman, Taffy Broadnesser Acker? She's amazing.
I don't think so.
She did that show on Hulu. She's like the profiler, and she's amazing. She's written Britney Spears and the Kardashians and all that. She still gets people sometimes. And it's amazing because what the problem is that, and what Mina's speaking about is, the risk of you uncovering something that might not be good for their brand or writing it in a way that may not be good for them or that some handler is going to take objection to or sponsor or whatever is not good enough for them to give you that kind of access anymore. They can kind of just go direct, and we end up getting a lot of kind of lame documentaries. A lot of the self-produced stories are, they're just not what you really want them to be. They're almost there. There's some insights, but the reason I was trying to look up this story. Mina did a story, an Access story with Aaron Rodgers once. Okay, back in this era, and I guess Aaron had seen her kind of on TV. He liked her style, liked her work. He was open to that idea. And one of the more famous things that I remember from that story was when she was doing her interview of him, he took out his phone and he's like, I'm going to record this too.
So, in other words, if she misrepresented him in any way, he had a record of it.
He had a record, and he was like gonna put it out there. And he was already a little bit paranoid. And but that story, if you go back and read it, was really interesting and good. And I thought there were things he probably didn't like in it, but I think it was very humanizing. And so now compare that story versus him doing his Netflix documentary, which I watched. I found things that were interesting in it, but it was mostly, a typical athlete self-produced thing. Like, he showed you some things that was interesting, but it was sanitized. I compare that story to his own self-produced thing, and I'm sure he was much happier with his Netflix thing. Plus, he made money on that, and you have to think, like, people who are super famous, they can do their own thing. Like Ronda Rousey, for example, she did profiles because she was this was women's MMA. She was the first UFC fighter. She was the first female UFC fighter. She needed that press. She needed she needed ESPN and the cover story, and she had to keep that engine going. All they were always doing is promoting themselves. But now she's got her own movie that's being written for Netflix off of her 2 memoirs. She doesn't need us anymore.
Right. And I think that's probably a wave of the future.
Yeah.
I think you're probably not going to see that stuff very much anymore. Here's something that caught my eye, and I thought, well, you know what, Kasim, you would be good, and Laura, you'd be good to test this on. Kasim, how old are you?
I'm 22 years old.
Okay. How do you get your news? Do you watch TV news? Do you get it off the internet? Do you read newspapers? Like, well, how would if a big story broke today in the world, where would you hear about it?
I would say, like, if it was like a breaking news headline, it would probably be off like Twitter or X or like the ESPN app if it's a sports.
Okay, Laura, how about you?
Same. So if it's anything like just world news, it's probably going to be AP News on my phone or anything like that. Twitter, X, ESPN or the source. Yeah.
So you guys, as it turns out, are the new wave of consumer. For the first time ever, there is a new study that says more people are getting their news from social media than any other source, even TV. Did you notice how Kasim, who's 22, never said TV? You and I got everything from TV. And the other thing you and I did was we would subscribe and read a newspaper every single day. Only 14% of people are getting their news from newspapers.
Yikes.
And that's why those guys are, and to Kasim's point, like Twitter or X or however he hears on, that's why all these newspapers are going so hard on their social media now, because that's how people are getting to them.
Yeah. So,
but isn't that interesting that that people who are younger than us, and I'm even older than you, but people are younger than us, we got used to learn about, like 9/11, we learned about on TV. If Kasim or Laura heard about it, it would be on their phone.
So I think I'm one of the last generations of people who grew up without a cell phone. I didn't get a cell phone until I graduated college. I just want, like, how does that sit with you? Can you imagine not having a cell phone until you graduated college?
My son got one when he was 12.
Right.
I got my first phone at like 9.
What?
Right.
Laura, wild. Like, do you remember life without a cell phone?
Did you notice that that your parents or whoever was watching you, the quickest way they could get your attention at that age,
take your phone away.
Yeah, threaten to take away your phone.
Yeah.
And like the first time I did that to my son, it's like I was threatening to take away his arm.
Yeah.
He fell right in line. Exactly what I wanted.
Always.
Yeah. And that's so it's a whole new, like, you and I are used to, like, remember, like, the dream job back then would be like if we could host the Today Show.
Oh yeah.
Or if we could be the lead anchor in LA or New York. Now, nobody's watching those people anymore.
Yeah, so I find that with my stories, I have to go, what I've been trying to work on is every time I write a big story, I want to contact our social media team and say, hey, can you do screen grabs or tiles of, like, interesting nuggets from my story and like put it on Instagram or some of those other platforms so that
anything that'll deliver people to the story.
Right. And it'll get them to click on it. But half the time they don't even put a link.
Yeah, which
it's just
does
like
you no good.
Yeah. And when the information gets out there, it's attributed to me, etc. But I still think people read. It's just different. It's like they'll read a little at a time. They might come back to it later.
Kasim reads. He just gets it off of social media.
That's right.
He gets it off of. Do you have Instagram?
I do, yeah.
Okay, like that's another
How
one.
much do you watch YouTube?
Not much recently. I'll say like when I hear of like I hear the breaking news story, and sometimes I'll read an article, but a lot of the times I'll only turn on the TV if I hear from news from my phone.
So I get alerts. So I feel like most of the things that I'm getting alerts on either Twitter or I have the New York Times. I subscribe to the New York Times, so I get those alerts all the time.
Right.
You know, like that's how I get my like national news. Laura does.
But still, you're getting it.
It's a push
from
notification.
Social media. Yeah. All right. Coming up next is sports graffiti. You can talk about anything you want. By the way, the Dodgers are trying to sweep the Rockies. They're playing right now in Colorado. Clayton Kershaw's pitching. It's 1-1 in the top of the fourth inning. We can talk about the Lakers. We can talk about the Dodgers. We can talk about the draft. We can talk about all this other stuff we're talking about.
Yeah.
Anything you want. 877-710. 3776 877-710 ESPN. Your chance to sound off next. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
And it is a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Here's your cue to call. Be caller number 7 right now at 877-710 ESPN, and you win a pair of tickets for Saturday, June 28th at the Honda Center to see Jake Paul to take on Julio Cesar Chavez. Caller number 7 right now wins. Listen all day for your chance to win or get your tickets right now at Ticketmaster.com on a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Now for a limited time, lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month. Or get 2.99% APR. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end July 7th. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
The biggest event of the summer is coming to Honda Center. Saturday, June 28th. Most Valuable Promotions presents global boxing star Jake Paul on his path to becoming world champion. Taking on Mexico's former world champion, Julio Cesar Chavez Jr. Get your tickets at Ticketmaster.com. In the co-main event, Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez defends his world titles against Cuba's knockout artist, Yuniel Dorticos. Former boxing and UFC champ Holly Holm returns live from the Honda Center on Saturday, June 28th. Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez Jr.
710 ESPN, your home for the 17-time world champion Lakers.
KSPN Los Angeles, a good karma brands radio station.
And it is 1 o'clock in the Southland on the biggest show on the radio, Mason and Ireland. And it's time for Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti like we do every day at this time. Sponsored by our friends at BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout. Now let's do it. Let's talk about it on Sports Graffiti on Mason and Ireland.
Breaking news, by the way, Justin Tucker, who is statistically the best kicker in NFL history, but ran into very similar to Deshaun Watson, was accused of being handsy during massages by multiple female massage artists, has been suspended for 10
weeks,
which means you only carry one kicker on your roster. He's out of the league.
See you, buddy.
Yeah.
See you next year.
Interesting. Well, maybe not. He didn't kick well last year. He may be done.
Yeah, it's true.
All right, time for Sports Graffiti. You can sound off about anything you want, and we start with Devin. Devin, you're on Sports Graffiti. What do you got?
What's up, Johnny boy and Momo?
Hey!
I love you, Momo.
Oh.
Thank you.
I'm a diehard Laker, guys. I'm a diehard Laker, right? I hate to rag on Pelinka, but I just think he just lacks creativity. I think he the foresight to get things done. Man, Luka basically fell into his lap. He's gonna get credit for that, but Luka fell into his lap, man. He should have got a big in that deal while the deal's going on, and you're talking about it. You should be thinking about already, okay, my next move for a big man, as opposed to waiting for the last minute to go after Williams and then end up making a horrible trade, giving up our rookie Connect, who has a promising future, and then void the trade. It's like, come on, Rob.
All right.
I got you,
Devin. Okay, I'm
right,
gonna push back a little on this. First of all, Rob was not dictating terms in the Luka trade. If somebody calls and says, "Do you want Luka?" You make it work.
John,
now,
we just found the only person in America who thinks the Lakers didn't get enough in the Luka trade.
Well, and here's the other thing. I don't know how Rob kept Austin out of that deal.
I don't either, or the extra pick.
And he did. I thought Rob took Nico to the cleaners on that
Oh my
deal.
God! Everybody, literally everyone in the world thinks that.
And to say that he's not creative, you guys have short memories. When he got the job, when Rob got the job, they said the two things you can never get out from under are the Timofey Mozgov deal and the Luol Deng deal, and he got out of both of them.
You're right.
He's actually
and
more.
he cleared enough salary cap space to get LeBron that year.
Yeah, he's actually more creative than you guys give him credit for.
I will say this also: the Mark Williams deal. Mark Williams was traded again last night.
Yep.
What does that tell you?
That Charlotte knows something that the rest of the
100%.
league doesn't.
Yeah.
Here is Phil. Hey, Phil, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go for it.
Hey, Ireland. I remember when Momo's Clipped first came out, you and Mason were saying she was going to win all kinds of awards. What's
coming
finally
up?
happened
It's
with
coming
that?
up. It's coming up.
What awards are those?
Okay, so listen. The Emmys are coming out.
Yeah.
The Emmy nominations. This is our Emmy cycle.
Okay. Do you think anybody gets nominated? Because I thought
so.
there were about 4 Emmy.
Me
I
too.
thought the girl who played V. Stiviano. I thought Ed O'Neill could be nominated for
Lawrence.
I thought Jackie Weaver, who
Lawrence,
played Shelley Sterling.
I think definitely the actor. I'm hoping at least 2 or 3 of the actors get nominated.
By the way, if you know what we're talking about, Ramona had a podcast series about the fall of the Clippers when Donald Sterling got caught on tape.
What if I told you?
Yeah, and it's great. It aired on FX last summer. Can people still see it on Hulu?
Hulu, yeah. You gotta go to Hulu.
And it's great. So if you haven't seen it, it's called Clipped. Lawrence Fishburne plays Doc Rivers.
Yeah.
Ed O'Neill, Al Bundy plays Donald Sterling, and
So,
he's great.
I'm going to speak this into existence.
Jackie Weaver
Amazing.
kind of steals the whole thing.
Yeah.
And I think Cleopatra Coleman, the girl that played V. Stiviano, is a future star.
I love that you know her name. See, you know her name now.
Yeah.
I will say this.
The small roles, like the guy from Billions who,
Kelly
who
Aucoin.
played Andy Roser.
Yeah, he was great. So I actually just saw Kelly Aucoin when I was in New York. We went
great
and
actor.
His famous he took me to the famous martini bar that he goes to.
Right.
And I want to cast him as Jim Buss in one of my next projects.
Good.
I think he could totally play Jim.
Yeah,
Buss. Wait. We need to do this collective thing. I'm trying to make this happen.
Okay.
This is our Emmy cycle. I would love to win one, but I really just want to get nominated so I can go.
Oh, that'd be fun.
Right. So
yeah,
I
see,
know,
I've only been to the local Emmys. I've won 4 local
What
Emmys,
if
but
I
I've
get
never
to
been
go?
nominated for a big one.
So I had to join the Television Academy because I know it's our cycle. We have to be part of the Academy. I had to sign up and do something. And I think it's in a couple of weeks where they announce it, whether or not we get nominated. And it's in that,
and I think it's early in the morning.
Yeah,
and,
I don't know if I'll get up, but I hope I wake
you're
up to
getting
something.
up. What are you talking about? You're
yeah,
getting
I'm
up.
probably going to get up.
All right, Jimbo, you're on Sports Graffiti. Jimbo, go for it.
Hey, guys. So like you say, John, I love Austin, but he declined his extension and will be eligible for $40 million a year.
Woo!
Is he worth $40 million a year? And if he's not, do you have to trade him this off in the season?
Okay, Jimbo, those are all good questions. First, let me explain why Austin did what he did. This is actually an expected move. The Lakers gave him that in case he wanted it, but Austin is betting on himself because of where he is in his career cycle. The Lakers are capped by how much they can offer him.
Right.
They offered him the max that they're allowed to pay him now, but by waiting to become an unrestricted free agent, he can make millions more. So this was not a big surprise that he didn't do it. I think the Lakers' goal, and Ramona, I'm curious what your thoughts are, is to find a way to keep Austin.
I think so, too.
They are very high on him. Now, the problem with that is every team that calls, that's the first person they ask for.
Of course, because now he's an expiring deal.
Right, and he's a good player.
He's a good player.
So if it depends, everybody knows the Lakers need a center. It depends how big game hunting they go.
Yeah.
If they, like the other day we heard Bam Adebayo, I don't think that's happening.
No, I don't
But if they were going to get Bam Adebayo, Austin would probably have to be in that deal. Of
course.
Yeah. So that's part of the issue is he's your most tradable asset if you're going big game hunting.
Yeah. I think he's your most tradable asset. I do think that Rui and Gabe Vincent are also players that other teams see have value. Now, do they have a lot of value? Not really, but they are the kind of players teams like, and they're on good contracts. So those are the kind of names you'll hear over the next few weeks as we go through this. The draft is really where a lot of it happened, and I'm looking at free agency going, okay, of the centers who are available, most of them you're going to have to do a sign and trade to get. Right, because you don't have it. Nobody. The only team that has money is Brooklyn.
Yeah.
Miles Turner's out there. You guys interested in Miles Turner?
I think Indiana locks him up.
Yeah, and I think maybe Detroit. Watch Detroit on him.
Keep an eye on Clint Capella.
Yeah.
If you're a Laker fan, I think that might be a solution.
Yeah,
for
and
them.
I also think that the biggest thing the Lakers need is somebody who is about the same age as Luka, who can be on that trajectory, maybe a little younger, so they can grow together. That's what he had in Dallas with that Derek Lively trade with Derek Lively. That's the goal.
That's
something
why
like that.
I know he just signed, but don't rule out Daniel Gafford because he's got a very tradable contract. Which might happen.
Although I don't
way.
think they're going to allow Nico to deal with Rob Pelinka anymore.
Maybe not. Here's
the one team you can't deal with.
Here's Joe. Hey, Joe, you're on Sports Graffiti. Go for it.
Hey, yes, good afternoon, John and Momo. Yes, the Lakers should, stop mortgaging the future and concentrate on the present and get rid of LeBron. And Momo, get a job with the Lakers.
All right, thank you. Getting rid of LeBron makes 0 sense. He's second team All-NBA at age 40. He's still at the top of his game. You just ride that horse, Momo, until it's done. I don't get it. I don't get the people who say they want to get out of the LeBron business. If he was putting up 6 points a game, yeah, but he puts up 26 a game. I mean, come on.
I agree with you. However, I will say he makes a lot of money.
Yeah.
That's the only reason I would even think about it, because in this you're going to see so many weird trades over the next few years as teams try to realign and get comfortable with the new second apron rules and the new the new CBA.
Here's Paul. Hey, Paul, you're on Sports Graffiti. What do you got?
Hey, John. Hey, Momo. How's everybody doing? I have 3 quick things. John, I know you don't have Instagram, but if you do, or somebody there can show you, you might want to look up Country Club Adjacent.
Okay.
Golf.
Okay.
They're very funny, and you'll enjoy it. The second one is about the Lakers. This name hasn't been passed around to pick up for center. How about Nikola Vucevic from the Bulls? And
so
then,
that's a stretch. He's a stretch 5, yeah.
Yeah, the problem is he's not somebody that operates near the basket, and the Lakers need somebody that operates near the basket.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's why Daniel Gafford gets brought up a lot, Paul, is that he's comfortable right next to the basket. You know what they need, Momo? They need, not this person, but they need somebody like him. They need a 25-year-old DeAndre Jordan. He'd be perfect.
Yeah. I also, keep your eye on Charlotte. I feel like they've turned that roster over. They're going to continue to turn that roster over. So, Miles Bridges is another name.
Yeah, not a center, but, possible.
But
did you have a third thing, Paul?
Yeah, quickly, it was about the NBA refs taking too long for replays. That could probably speed up the game if they put the same thing like a pitch clock for the baseball, put a clock up for the referees calling.
Oh my gosh! From your lips to the basketball god's ears. Yeah. Thanks for that, Paul. You're right.
Yeah, good call.
I would actually eliminate replay. It's just ruined the game.
Yeah, I know. I
agree. It's to the point now where they get it wrong half the time anyway. Just get rid of it.
Yeah.
Here's Brian. Hey, Brian, you're on Sports Graffiti. Hi.
Hi, hello. I'm a mailman, so I listen to you guys all the time. You guys keep me entertained for the duration of my shift, all that. Thank you guys for what you guys do. My question is about yesterday's draft. With the whole Ace Bailey situation, I want to get your guys' thoughts. Like, how do you guys feel about players trying to dictate where they should be drafted? I know Ace Bailey, didn't want to go to Utah. I mean, it's understandable who would want to go play there. Losing franchise, not much to do there. But what are you guys' opinions about that situation?
I think Ace Bailey cost himself. I read one article that said $9 million by refusing to work out for any team. Because he would have gone third. Instead, he went fifth. And you can do that. You can try and dictate where you go, but look how it worked out for him. He ended up someplace he doesn't want to be.
Just take him, and then I'm going to push back on Utah. I've turned around on Salt Lake City. I've been flying through there a lot. It's a connecting airport. I think it's good. I spent a lot of time there this year. I happened to spend time there this year on a couple of road trips. I think it's a good town. I don't know why people don't like it. I think they're really upgrading the whole thing. Ryan Smith, the new owner there, he's like totally revamping the whole downtown. But I think with the Ace Bailey thing, it's I understand why you try to do it. You don't want to end up at the bad franchise in a bad spot. But like the thing I didn't understand is like, why did he want to end up in Washington? That's been a
he went to Rutgers, a little closer to where he is.
I know, but Philly's right next door.
Yeah,
I didn't understand why he didn't want to go to Philly, why he didn't go to Washington. Those are good franchises, and I think that now becomes what you're defined by. You can do that, but now that's how you define yourself. Like, so there was a big question about Paige Beckers. Would she try to influence the WNBA draft and not go to Dallas? Because Dallas has not had a good team or franchise. I don't think they have plans to build a practice facility, but like, would she try to get to Seattle, for example? That's a great market.
Right, or she's from Minnesota, and that's a good team.
The Valkyries had the 5th pick. That would be a great spot to start your career.
They've been surprisingly good in their first year.
Yeah, and I think she had an opportunity to do that. She could have tried to do it, and she chose not to because she didn't want that to be her story.
Okay, that's it for Sports Graffiti. Coming up, Momo, I have 2 sports legal dilemmas.
Okay, I like
so
those.
Judge Momo will make a ruling.
I'm not a lawyer, but I play one on TV sometimes.
Exactly. That's what we're talking about. Mason in Ireland, Momo in for Mase, ESPN LA.
It's a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Listen all day for the cue to call, and you can win a pair of tickets to see Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez at the Honda Center on Saturday, June 28th. Just be caller number 7 when you hear that cue to call at 877-710-ESPN. Listen all day for your chance to win or get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. A Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN.
The NBA, the draft, free agency, the offseason, every moment of what the purple and gold do on the biggest offseason in history. We have your dose of what's next for the Lakers thanks to Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
Be sure to catch Let's Talk About It on Sports Graffiti, weekday afternoons at 1 p.m. on Mason and Ireland. Sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. Visit BetterHelp.com/timeout today for 10% off your first month of therapy. BetterHelp.com/timeout.
Flip-flops on. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
The Summer Bash. Live entertainment, carnival food, and freebies all weekend long.
Number 2.
Mosen's Happy Hour, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m. and Friday, noon to 5 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
The $50,000 giveaway. 16 table gamers get $2,500 in promo chips, 6 to 9 p.m. And one winner gets $10,000 cash at 10 p.m. the 29th.
Morongo. Good times.
Next Gen, the official air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical team of SoCal sports fans. You know Next Gen for their incredible air conditioning and heating services. But did you know they do plumbing too? Are you noticing leaks around your home? Clogged drains? Next Gen can help with plumbing problems, large and small. And for a limited time, Next Gen's offering everyone a drain cleaning for just $88. Their expert technicians will work to clear even the toughest clogs. Plus, they can check your pipes for any other signs of damage. From slab leak repairs to clogged drains to water water filtration, and everything in between, trust NextGen for expert plumbing services and high-quality work. We're talking financing options, 5-star service, and availability 7 days a week. So don't wait. Call 833-3NEXTGEN. That's 833-3NEXGEN to schedule your $88 drain cleaning today. CSLB number 1011173. NextGen, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Hey Rams fans, it's your quarterback Matthew Stafford here. Join me for Walk United LA at the Rose Bowl Stadium on July 20th. Participants can walk or run to support fire recovery efforts and our most vulnerable LA communities. Learn more at walkunitedla.org. See you there.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as 1 day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
And it is Mason in Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. The NBA Draft Round 2 tonight. We know the Lakers have moved up. What will happen? We bring you all the coverage courtesy of ESPN Radio starting at 4:30 p.m. on 7:10 a.m. and the ESPN Radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. Meanwhile, Sedano and Cap will continue till 6 p.m. Have them as your second stream at ESPN Los Angeles on YouTube and the Listen Live tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. That's today at 4 p.m. Meanwhile, Mason in Ireland with Momo continues on 710 ESPN, and always you can listen live on the all-new ESPN LA app.
All right, Momo in for Mason in Ireland. Let me read this so Laura doesn't yell at me. Sports Graffiti, let's talk about it, is sponsored by BetterHelp. Mental health is health. All right, so I've got for Laura, Kasim, and Momo, I want you guys to pretend you're on a jury, okay? And I'm going to hit you with 2 different legal scenarios. All right, turn your mic on. Okay, legal scenario number 1. Now, keep in mind, in a real courtroom, you would hear more evidence and things would play out. I'm giving you limited information, but here's story number 1. James Harden, the Clipper point guard, was throwing a party at his house in Houston, and his nephew is
allegedly
accused.
Yep, I know this case.
Of sexually assaulting a woman. James is not accused of that, but he is named in the lawsuit because Harden and his security team, according to the lawsuit now, according to the accusation, didn't stop the assault.
Or do much about it afterwards, yeah.
Should you be liable for something at your house that happened under your watch, but that you didn't do? Laura, should James Harden be named in this lawsuit because it was his house and his party?
This is a really tricky one because so I'll answer it like this. It's tricky because, for example, bars or like bartenders or other people are held liable if they keep serving you alcohol.
Somebody.
Right.
Yep.
So I understand why they did it. I'm sure they're going to go after him because he's the one, I'm not saying they're looking for money,
pockets.
But
yeah.
He's the one with the deep pockets. I honestly don't know. It's just a very tricky situation because if they had knowledge and then they allowed it to continue, yes. If they did it and somebody just told, it's just super tricky. I'm not a
Kasim,
legal
in
person.
this case, if you're on the jury, should James Harden be charged with something even though they admit up front he didn't do it, but it was at his house on his watch? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm not sure. Yeah, it's a slippery slope for sure. Should he be charged? Or should
in the
he
lawsuit.
be mentioned?
He is named in the lawsuit as one of the perpetrators of this assault.
Yeah, I honestly don't know.
Okay.
What do you think, Momo?
I'm going to give you a. This is I've covered a lot of these types of stories.
Okay.
I get sent these things, like you get sent the lawsuit or whatever it is, and I read through this one too. Two things you should know before you ever write anything. There was an opportunity to go to the police at some point, right? So there's not any.
And the victim did not?
I don't know.
Okay.
But clearly there's not any
police report.
There's not or there's not any charges being filed by local police.
Okay.
That's the way I would put it.
Okay.
Doesn't mean it didn't happen. It's like if your first
It's
step
part of the
should-
equation.
Yeah, your first step should always be to go to the police if something terrible like this happened to you. And maybe she did, and maybe they're still investigating. So that's, as a reporter, those are the first questions I ask. Okay, is there a police report? What's happened with that? What do the police say about this? Yada yada. Number two, anytime that something like this gets to the media where it goes public, you can rest assured that they have had many conversations to come
Try
to a
and settle it.
Yeah, settle it before it ever gets public.
Right.
So I'm wondering, usually when it comes to this level, why it's not settled. Like usually most people would just pay to make it go away.
Right.
So doesn't mean it's not true, doesn't mean anything, but those are the questions that as a reporter you kind of have to ask. Zion Williamson was named in a lawsuit kind of like this a few weeks ago. And so you kind of want to dig into those questions first. Because a civil case, you can allege anything. You can allege all of this.
Yep.
And I think you need to give the benefit of the doubt to both the victim and the accused here.
Okay.
So should James be liable? I actually do think you have a responsibility.
If you're the host of the party?
If you're the host of the party.
Okay.
And especially because there's security there. And I think this lawsuit is interesting because there's a lot of accusation, not just what happened at the party, but what happened afterwards and whether or not he was present.
Yeah.
I do think... Like, you host parties at your house.
Sure.
Like, people do stupid things. Like, are you liable for that? I don't know. But if you have security there and there is some level of responsibility. I don't know.
And
that
there are
it's
some
criminal.
accusations that security may have asked her friends to leave and gotten them out of
it's a
there
little
and
tricky.
isolated her. So there's it's complicated. But
It's a complicated
okay, so that's
story.
one case to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
All right, here's the other one, completely different case.
Yeah.
Ready? I ran this by Jacob when he was here on
All right.
Tuesday. Fernando Tatis of the Padres is suing a company called Big League Advance, BLA. When he was 17, BLA came to him and they said, hey, we think you're going to make a lot of money as a major leaguer. We'll give you money right now, up front, in exchange for you giving us 10% of your earnings. And Tatis said, well, how much would you give me? They said, we'll give you $2 million.
That's a lot.
And he took it.
Okay.
Now he has signed a $340 million contract, so he owes BLA $34 million.
Yeah.
He has filed a suit saying that
Predatory lending?
He was tricked. At 17, he didn't have the financial wherewithal to know what he was entering into.
Yeah.
He didn't... He said this is against California lending, and he was playing for the Padres, California lending practices. He should not have to pay the $34 million. Laura, based on that, do you think Fernando Tatis owes Big League Advance $34 million?
I think he's definitely going to have to pay up. The thing here for me is that he's 17 years old. So if he can get out of it because he was under the age, then I'm good with it. If the courts say, too bad you signed it or your legal guardian signed it, that's where it's going to be tough. But honestly, I feel because he was underage, he can definitely get out of it.
Kasim, based on the little amount of info I've given you, do you think Tatis has a case?
I think he has a case just solely based off of the age aspect of it, just being underaged. But I think it's more than likely he'll have to pay up because of the signature.
Right. What do you think?
Did he have an agent or an advisor at the time?
I don't know.
Okay, so that to me is key.
Okay.
Because most players, especially when they're high school aged, they do have an agent or advisor, especially if they're going to get drafted or signed or something. They have somebody the high school players or college players. They usually have somebody advising them. So if you had a professional advising you, then I think that you're there. But it's like a bad prenup. I mean, that's kind of what you've signed here. These kinds of deals are actually very common. I think, didn't Yasiel Puig have something like this too? And the way to get around this is you just write it differently. You say you just put a cap on it. 10% of future earnings up to $30 million or something like that, and then once you hit that number, then you cap it. That's how that contract should have been written. I think that's probably how maybe he has to pay something now, and then you can amend. The courts will probably find that he has to pay now, but then in the future earnings he doesn't have to.
What is unusual is that Tatis is the son of a former big league infielder.
Correct.
So it's not like this is brand new to him. His dad played in the major leagues. Laura, what's your question?
So I had a question because you brought Yasiel Puig in, and to my knowledge, it happens a lot to like Dominican players and like, you know, guys that are trying.
By the way, this was the Reggie Bush case.
Right.
This was literally the Reggie Bush story.
Yeah.
So is there a way to protect, especially the athletes that are coming from countries like that, to have like an appointed person, or like how do we
There's
deal with that?
usually an advisor. Like I think in this one, I'd be interested to find out if there isn't some kind of advisor. But you prey on people who don't have any money. Of course.
And in this case, they gave him $2 million. But here was Jacob's take on this.
What did he say?
He says Tatis is going to have to pay something.
Something.
He said he may be able to get the number down, but this seemed like a pretty in Jacob's mind, this seemed like a pretty straightforward exchange. You accepted the $2 million on the condition that you'll give him 10% of what you make. Now, and Jacob made this point, what would have happened had Tatis broke his ankle and never made it to the major leagues? He doesn't have to give that $2 million back.
Exactly.
So they took a risk. BLA took a risk.
Yeah, I'm sure they do this with a lot of people.
Yeah, I think they're going to get some money out of it.
Yeah.
But those are two cases you can keep an eye on that are hovering around the sports legal world. I think BLA is going to get some money. I don't know if they're going to get their $34 million, but I think they're going to get some money because it seems pretty straightforward to me. Yeah. I don't know why you wouldn't simply do it that way. All right. Coming up next, the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders.
Yeah, I like this story.
Just got a 400% raise. If you're the Cowboys, is this a smart investment or a ridiculous waste of money? We'll get into it next. Momo and for Mase. Christine Brennan, who wrote the Caitlin Clark book, coming up at the top of the hour. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
And breaking NBA draft news for tonight. The Lakers are moving up in the second round of the NBA draft, acquiring the number 45 pick from the Chicago Bulls and trading the 55th and some cash, according to Shams at ESPN. We're talking about what it means for tonight. And don't forget, you can hear the second round of the draft starting at 4:30 p.m. today on 710 ESPN and the ESPN radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
Listen all week to Sedano and Cap for your chance to win a pair of VIP tickets to the biggest pro wrestling convention this Saturday, June 28th at Hilton LAX. Listen for the cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. That's 877-710-3776 to win 2 tickets with VIP access to LAX Fan Fest plus 1 autograph by Ahmad Johnson. Listen to Sedano and Cap for your chance to win or visit fanfestlax.com for tickets.
Accident or injury, call Jacob and Ronnie. Call Jacob.
Winning matters, especially after an accident. At calljacob.com, we're here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to calljacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB.
4th of July savings start now at Carden Alleyway Hyundai. Lease a brand new Hyundai Elantra SCL Sport for just $219 a month for 36 months with only $34.99 due at signing. Drive with confidence backed by America's best warranty, 10 years or 100,000 miles, and Hyundai's exclusive owner assurance program. Visit us off the 91 freeway or schedule your test drive now at CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com.
At SU 94 4151, $34.99 due at signing plus tax. License $85 doc fee and registration. No security deposit. 10,000 miles per year. Offer expires 7/7/2025.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
Located in the heart of downtown Los Angeles, Crypto.com Arena is pulling back the curtain and unveiling new behind-the-scenes VIP tours presented by Delta Airlines, which offers an exclusive look inside one of the world's most iconic sports and entertainment venues. Expert guides will lead small groups through spaces that have hosted legendary sports championships, world-renowned concerts, and epic awards. Guests will also explore the VIP areas and experience the arena's latest renovations. Visit Crypto.com Arena/tours for more info.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
And it is Mason and Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. Momo sitting in for Mase. Here's a little tease. I've been teasing it all summer. I know it has nothing to do with contracts. Listen Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. for a major Mason and Ireland announcement. How you can press the flesh with the fellas in private. ... That's Tuesday on a live imaging Tuesday. Of course I did it on a Tuesday. 12:30 p.m. Mason and Ireland announcement right now. Your Thursday edition continues on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
All right, Momo's in here. Ramona Shelburne filling in for Mase. And I saw this story, and I want to get your guys' opinion on it. So the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders are getting a 400% pay raise. Now, to be fair, these girls have been underpaid for many years. So it may sound a little better than it really is. So, for example, in 2019, the cheerleading squad fought for a raise in game rates, and the Cowboys doubled it. They used to get $200 a game. Then they switched them to $400 a game, and now they're going to get closer to $600 a game. It used to be that they received $15 an hour for practices. Now they're going to get $60 an hour for practices. For appearances, you get $100 times the amount of years you've been on the team.
Okay.
So if it's your first year, you get $100. If it's your second year, you get $200, and so on. So now, basically, what it works out to, a veteran, somebody that's been on that squad for more than a year, will make around $150,000 a year. Did you just cackle at that?
No, I went, what?
All right, so you think that's too...
Are they getting a piece of the TV show?
No, but they get $150,000 a year to be Cowboys cheerleaders. Laura, is that too much, too little, or about right?
No, that's great. They're dancers. They're professional dancers. I'm with it, but I'm like, how do we get that raised?
Kasim, $150,000 a year to be a Dallas Cowboy cheerleader. Too much, too little, or just right?
I'm all for everyone,
getting their
paid,
bag.
So
yeah, all right. So you're okay with it, Momo?
I think that's still too little, considering they have that TV show.
Right.
I think they probably get an appearance fee for that.
They should.
They should get an appearance fee, but I
think the players don't get paid for Hard Knocks.
That's interesting. But the players also get paid millions of dollars.
Right.
I have thought that cheerleaders and game day operations people are criminally underpaid for years. It always, like, what did you read it before? It used to be $200 a game.
Yeah.
I mean,
and when I started as a sportscaster, I was friends with a bunch of Charger girls, and they were getting $50 a game.
Yeah, $50. I mean, it's basically like you've had to put so much time and energy into the practices. It's really hard to have another job. Like, even though the platform is great and you're seen by everyone, it's not necessarily. A lot of people get discovered that way, but they make so much money at these games now. Do
you know who Sarah Shahi is? She's an actress. Did you see Sex Life on Netflix?
Okay, yeah.
She was the lead in Sex Life.
Okay.
She was on Sopranos.
Yeah.
She had a show called Fairly Legal. She
Okay.
started as a cowboy cheerleader.
Yeah, and I mean, I just think that it's that's a lot. They have to spend so much time preparing for that role. It's not like you just show up and cheer. You're practicing 3 or 4 hours a day at least.
I actually think that this is a wise investment
100%.
on
Everyone
behalf
should make that.
of the Cowboys. I think it's all part of the game day experience. I think the Rams have these cheerleaders, the Chargers have the cheerleaders. Do the Lakers have to have the Laker girls? No, but I'm glad they do.
Yeah.
I think they provide a lot as to the game experience. I remember when Dr. Buss came up
100%.
with the idea, they said, you can't have dancing girls on the court. He
Yeah.
said, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
Same thing with the courtside seats. They said, you can't put fans on the court. He said, I'm doing it anyway.
Yeah.
And now I think it lends itself to the experience.
Right.
And also, if you meet a lot of these girls and talk to them, young girls who are sports fans want a way to be a part of this.
Yeah.
And that's the way.
And I just think you have to pay people a living wage because the way they were paying them before, they all had to have other jobs.
Right.
Like that wasn't your primary job. So if you want this to be somebody's primary occupation and like loyalty, you have to pay them.
And I think that, people were saying, well, in a time in the Me Too era where, in like beauty pageants are kind of shutting down or they're eliminating the swimsuit competitions and stuff like that because it's demeaning to the girls. These girls are
they're choosing to
show
do
up
it.
for one of the auditions. They're
Yeah.
turning away thousands of people.
100%.
This is an in-demand job, and I think that if they are going to be part of the game experience and part of the team, they should be paid accordingly.
Yeah, I do
the
too.
Cowboys print money. Give
Yeah.
some of it to them.
Yeah.
I have like zero issue with this.
I think it's a long time coming.
And
I hope it sets the bar for every other game day performer.
Okay, here's another story that I want to get you guys' opinion on. This is kind of a weird one. Were you ever a waitress?
No, I got turned down for a job at Coffee Bean.
I was a waiter.
Like literally,
once.
I tried to. I wanted to be.
Laura, ever been a waitress?
I used to work at McDonald's, but no waitress.
Okay, Kasim, waiter, waitress, and any restaurant job in your.
My dad, he owned a restaurant in Seattle, so
did you work? Did you work in the restaurant sometimes?
Yeah.
Okay, so I'll be interested in what you have to say about this. A waitress in Denver didn't get a tip from a couple she was serving, and I don't know how many people know this, but what a lot of restaurants do is they pay their waiters, their servers, minimum wage, and then they make it up in tips. And then if they don't get tips, the restaurant then has to make them whole. But they don't get paid unless
Sometimes they don't get made whole.
Right.
Yeah.
And they don't get paid a living wage unless they make tips. All right. So this waitress was serving a couple. She thought she had good rapport with them. She was polite. After the meal, she said, hey, were you guys happy with the service?
Yeah.
And they said, yeah. And she said, well, I just want to explain something to you. You guys didn't leave a tip, and that's the only way I can make money.
Yeah.
And, I mean, I'm not sure if you know that, but in the future, you should.
Wow, good for her.
You should tip. And the couple said, we'd like to speak to your manager.
Oh, wow.
The manager came over, and she thought she might be getting tipped.
Yeah.
They complained to the manager that it was inappropriate.
Oh, wow.
The manager fired the waitress.
What?
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
For making them uncomfortable?
Correct.
Wow.
For the customer's always right. Don't make the customer uncomfortable. So this has blown up on Reddit. Everybody's debating. First of all, do you think the waitress was out of line bringing up the fact she didn't get a tip?
I don't. It's interesting because I think we have like this tipping culture has really changed.
Yeah, and it's a little bit out of control.
It's out of control.
2/3 of Americans feel that
it's too
tipping
much.
is too much.
Well, I'm happy to tip my server. What
Right.
I'm not happy to do is when I order a soda at Dodger Stadium, I don't want to give 20% on that.
Kasim,
Like, what am I doing? Why am I? Not even a soda, like a bottle.
If your dad, back in the day, when he had this restaurant in Seattle, if one of the servers would have done that, if one of the servers would have said, hey, I noticed you didn't tip me, and just to let you know, that's how I make money, would your dad be mad at the waiter?
I don't think my dad would be mad. He would be more so concerned that the waiter felt like it was needed to say that.
Right.
But I was getting paid like $20 a day, so.
Your family. Yeah, you get the friends and family.
Yeah.
Laura, did the waitress make a mistake by confronting this couple about not leaving a tip?
So I don't think so. And the reason why is because she said she felt like she had a good rapport with the couple. So if it would have been like a weird situation where she didn't interact, or you can tell as a customer and as a person waiting on the customer when it's not a good fit, So if she would have done it and sounded kind of spiteful about it, then I'm like, oh, girl, maybe you shouldn't have done it. But the fact that she's like, hey, I gave them good service. We interacted very well. I don't think it was out of pocket for her to ask, because maybe she genuinely just wanted to know, what can I do better to give you better service?
She could have just said, were you happy with your service? And they said, yeah. She could have just left it there.
Right.
And let them figure out.
A slight suggestion.
Yeah, it's like passive-aggressive. I mean, you could have done the passive-aggressive thing. But I don't think that's out of line. I think in general... you're fine. I mean, I'm wondering who this couple is. Like, do they just go around and never tip anyone at a restaurant? Like,
I tend to over tip.
Yeah, me too.
Just because, to be like completely honest.
Yeah, you're a public figure.
You and I both are.
Yeah.
And I don't want to get lit up for it.
Yeah.
And so I'll even tip for takeout.
Yeah, me too. I do all the time. But I'm starting to resent like the percentage. Like if I order something at an airport kiosk, like I'm getting a packaged sandwich and a packaged water,
right.
I don't want to pay 20% tip on that. It's already overpriced. And I'm like, what did the person do? Just ring me up?
Well,
like,
you mentioned that part of your playoff run this year was covering the Knicks in New York. New York is an overtip town. Like everybody's got their hand out in New York. Like guy opens the door for you, he's looking for a tip. Bellman brings your luggage to the room looking for a tip. Yeah. And
sometimes I don't have cash and I feel bad about it. And
that's why I tell Lisa and Mason, my wife and Steve Mason, neither one carry cash.
Yeah,
ever.
I have to carry cash.
I do just for that reason.
And sometimes I run out, though. Like, sometimes I go to Burbank Airport and I have to get my car out of the valet afterwards. And, like, if I don't have any cash, I'll have to stop at the ATM on the way there just to make sure I can tip the guy who goes and gets my car.
All right. So coming up next is What's Up, Fool. We'll get Laura in here, and maybe Kasim's got some stuff. Laura is keeping an eye on something for us. The Dodgers are playing right now. Clayton Kershaw just had another strikeout. He is 3 strikeouts away from 3,000. And I think, Momo, he may be the last pitcher in our lifetime to hit 3,000.
Interesting.
Because these guys don't pitch as much innings anymore. Like the average pitcher, back when you and I were growing up.
Yeah.
I remember one year the Baltimore Orioles had 4 20-game winners on the same staff. This year there won't be a 20-game winner in the whole league.
Right.
Because these guys all come out of the game super early. But we'll keep an eye on that. Kershaw. Probably not because he's already into the 6th inning, right? So he'd probably have to strike out the side if he even comes back in the 7th.
Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
but it's probably going to happen in his next game. All right, coming up next, What's Up, Fool? Momo and Mase, ESPN LA.
And it is a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Here's your cue to call. Be caller number 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN, and you win a pair of tickets for Saturday, June 28th at the Honda Center to see Jake Paul to take on Julio Cesar Chavez. Caller number 7 right now wins. Listen all day for your chance to win or get your tickets right now at Ticketmaster.com on a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Now for a limited time, lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month. Or get 2.99% APR. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end July 7th. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
And breaking NBA draft news for tonight. The Lakers are moving up in the second round of the NBA draft, acquiring the number 45 pick from the Chicago Bulls and trading the 55th and some cash, according to Shams at ESPN. We're talking about what it means for tonight. And don't forget, you can hear the second round of the draft starting at 4:30 p.m. today on 710 ESPN and the ESPN radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
What's Up, Fool is brought to you by Dos Hombres Mezcal. It's fate. It's friendship. It's mezcal. Dos Hombres.
All right, guys, I'll start it off, and then Kasim can take the next one.
Okay.
So one thing that I love, and you guys know, are my national holidays, and today's National Handshake Day. So I wanted to know, one, do you guys have a handshake with another person? Like, do you guys have a personalized handshake with somebody? And if you currently don't, did you have one as a child?
Okay, John, I'm going to show you my handshake.
All right.
Okay,
oh, she's ready.
She's walking over here. I'm going to stay by the mic so people can hear me. Yep.
So we're going to put our hands like this.
Okay. Is this a Stanford softball handshake?
Fly up,
okay.
fly down, fly away. Here we go.
That's what you did when you were playing Stanford?
That's what I thought was so
that was
cool.
easy.
It's like my personal handshake.
See, I have here. Come back over here for a second. No. I'm gonna show you the one. I have a fraternity handshake.
Ooh, I like it.
So this is it. Ready? Okay. That's the grip.
Whoa. Okay.
So it's like an interlocking. See how my
like
fingers?
That.
Yeah. So if you and I are in the same fraternity and we haven't seen each other for years,
just go like that.
I'll walk to you and go like that.
Yeah, I like it. Okay.
Yeah.
I like my fly down, fly away.
But yeah, yours is more fun. But I wish I had like a cool one like Momo, Laura. I don't. Have you had one?
I had one when I was like probably in junior high with like my girlfriends and stuff, but it was like a slap one.
You can steal mine.
Who's the most famous person you have ever shook hands with?
Ooh.
All right, for me, I'll go first.
Okay.
So for me, it's either Barack Obama.
Oh yeah, you won.
Tiger Woods.
Ooh.
Michael Jordan. One of those three. How about you, Momo?
Oh man, I got to think about that.
Chelsea Clinton, right?
I didn't shake her hand though.
You never did? Like
no,
when you
first
first time you met her? Well, girls don't really shake hands like guys do.
Like it's not a. I don't know. Have I?
Kasim, have you ever shook hands with anybody famous?
I take selfies.
I'd say he's my favorite player too. Damian Lillard was probably the most.
Okay.
By the way, Laura,
Yes.
Damian Lillard, born on July 15th.
I know.
Like
Also,
Laura and I.
Oh, wow.
Laura and I have the same birthday.
Wow. I'm
and-
July 19th, so I'm right in the
I know,
same.
Yeah,
Cancer.
we're all coming up.
Yeah.
Coming up.
That's a good question, though. Yeah, I've shook hands. And by the way, handshakes, like
Yeah.
Michael and I have been trying to kill the handshake ever since COVID.
Yeah.
We want to bring back the bow.
I like the bow.
The Larry
bow's cool.
David
The namaste bow. That was cool.
Matter of fact, it gives me an excuse to play the Larry David bow clip
Okay,
for if
I
you
will
can
look
find
for
it.
Now, really quick, do you guys judge someone based on how they shake
Yes.
your hand?
Well,
because
like
I do.
my
I do.
son's 20, like Kasim's age. He's 22, and I've been trying to teach him a firmer handshake. Like he'll stick his hand. I think when people first learn how to shake hands, they're worried about being too firm. But I'm trying to get him to be like. By the way, warning, Kasim. This is a warning to you and to anyone else listening. If you ever are in a room with Adrian Peterson, the running back, do not, under any condition, shake hands with him.
Like a really rough handshake.
He tries to break your hand. So
Wow.
Mason tried to warn me. We were at the the ESPYs are coming up in a couple of weeks, and we were down on. I don't know if us or Sedano and Cap or anybody will be down where the ESPYs are. If the ESPYs normally start around 5, so if any show goes down there, it'll probably be Sedano and Cap. But if Adrian Peterson was coming down the line, the red carpet line, Mace whispers to me, fist bump Peterson. Do not shake hands with him. And we were doing the show,
Yeah.
and I'm like, so I couldn't ask him about it. And I go, what? What are you talking about? He goes, don't shake hands with him. Trust me, fist bump him. And I went, okay. So Adrian Peterson came up to me, and I put out my fist to fist bump him, and he said he put out his hand to shake, so we were in a stalemate.
Oh boy!
So then I shook, and
Rock,
I knew
paper,
what Mace.
scissors.
He crushed my hand.
Wow.
Crushed it.
How did Mace know that?
He had met him the year before.
Okay.
He had done it the year before. But anytime we bring, like Michael and I, because handshakes are how you transfer colds.
Yeah.
Michael and I would like to bring back the Curb Your Enthusiasm bow. And
Yeah,
it
I like
gives,
that.
It gives me the excuse to play this clip. Hit it, Laura.
Excuse me. Speak English?
Yes, I am fluent, yes.
Oh, I noticed that when you apologized to this man, you gave him a rather deep bow, almost 90 degrees.
Yes. Yeah, I spilled ice cream, so I'm very sorry. So I apologize to him, yes.
Yes. Now, the other night, a Japanese fellow apologized to me.
Yes.
But he only went down a few degrees, kind of like that.
Like that?
Yeah.
Oh, that is not apology to you. No, he was not sorry at all.
He wasn't sorry?
No. He a little dismissive of you.
Dismissive?
Yes. Yes.
I got a dismissive
Yes,
bow?
a little bit bow.
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 Bow, I got. I got bow.
No bow would be better than that bow.
No bow better.
Yes. Little insulting to you.
Do you hear? Not the bow like that. Not sorry at all.
No.
A little bitty bow.
I'm sorry to tell you, but that was not apology.
Thank you very much. This has been very helpful to me.
You're very welcome.
Can you bow for thank you?
You can bow for thank you.
You can bow for thank you?
Sure, yes.
That's a thank you bow.
Thank you. Yes. Very good.
Good day to you.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Good luck.
Bring back the bow. Let's go. Come
So
on.
good.
Yeah, let's bring it back.
What's up, Foo?
All right,
All right,
guys.
Kasim, what do you got?
I've been a reality TV kind of guy.
Okay.
I've
Me
been
too.
watching.
Momo and I've been there for 10 years,
Yeah.
so you're barking up the
Okay.
right
I'm all
tree.
cut up on Below Deck.
Yeah.
Yeah, so
Top Chef, yeah.
Love Island is one of the most watched reality TV shows.
You and
right
Brian
now.
Cohen. You're
Yeah.
the guy you're filling in for today.
Yeah.
Brian never misses that show.
Yeah, and there'll be an episode tonight. I'll be tuned into that. But I figured out just as much as I like watching it, I like talking about it with people.
Okay.
And my question is, as a man, should I keep that as my guilty pleasure?
100%.
And not let people know that I watch reality TV, or just
Kasim,
talk about it?
I'm older than you, so benefit from my wisdom. Bravo is on at my house probably more than any other channel,
Same.
more than ESPN.
Same.
I'm watching all the Real Housewives shows. I'm watching all the Vanderpump shows. Below Deck's great.
Yeah.
Reality TV is great because you can do other stuff while you're watching.
Yeah.
You can do laundry.
Yeah.
You can eat. If your phone rings and you answer it, you don't have to back it up because it's mindless blather,
Yeah.
right?
I feel like I learn things too about life. I feel, like when I watch those Below Deck shows, I feel like I learn things about how people should behave, like how you should, even though it's all scripted. I mean, not scripted, but it's all staged. And I've read stuff from people who were on those crews before. Like they definitely get them drunk on purpose. Like they definitely, whenever the crews go out to dinner, they have them drink first before they eat any food, and they're all tired and stuff. So then they, encourage bad behavior. But I don't think you need to keep it to yourself. I think that the people who are going to like you are going to like you even more because you watch this stuff.
Yeah, I ride that wave until it crashes. And don't be ashamed.
Don't conceal it. It's fine.
Yeah, it's good.
I'll try to embrace it.
What's up, Foo?
All right, guys. So really quick on Love Island. If you want to be a part of it, they're actually going to be holding castings in San Diego this Saturday.
Does Parker know?
Parker's on vacation. That's the first person
Can you
we
give me,
wanted to send.
Kasim, can you give me the I've heard about Love Island. I haven't picked that
give
one up.
the elevator pitch for Love Island. To nobody who's ever seen Love Island, how would you explain it?
Pretty much there's like 5 guys, 5 girls on an island. You pretty much try to find your match, and along the way,
And try and hook up.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
You try to find your match, and along the way, there are new people that come into the island and try to take your significant other. Gets pretty messy, pretty nasty, and yeah.
Got it. Okay. Are there any things that do they incentivize with the Bachelor? Do they have dates that you can win or go on?
So
or things
I think
like that?
the grand prize, the winning couple wins $100K, and then there's dates along the ways that you could.
Okay. Has anyone ever gotten married from this?
Not that I'm aware of.
Or
but I know someone had a child.
If they did, it probably didn't last.
Somebody had a kid?
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his name? Tommy Fury.
I don't know who you're talking about, but I believe you.
The boxer, Tommy Fury.
Oh, okay.
All right. So
okay.
Really quick, I'll continue just because I know my host. This is a no oxygen list for me, but John loves her. So Kim Kardashian,
God bless her.
Same,
is starring in the Amazon MGM Studios live-action Bratz movie, which she's also producing. Probably why she's starting in it. But anyways, this is the second time the Brat movie will be a live-action film. It happened back in 2007. Are you guys in on watching Kim K?
Who was in the first one?
I don't remember, but I think it was somebody from Pretty Little Liars back in the day. So are you guys in on watching her be a brat?
I would watch Kim Kardashian read the phone book.
Wow.
That's all you need to know.
Wow.
I know that most people are sick of her, and a lot of people think the Kardashians are too much.
Yes.
She's been on the show twice. She's great.
Really?
She plays along with every dumb bit Mason and I throw at her. A good friend of mine has kids at the school that her kids are at and says she's like a super mom. Like she's really good with her kids.
Wow.
So I'm a big Kim K fan. How about you?
Yeah, I like the Kardashians. I'm in. I think they are they ushered in a new era in our society. And when we look back on this era, I think that we give it a lot more credit. I think they're endlessly entertaining. I think I find them entertaining because they go along with things. They don't try to, like, we had the conversation about the Access profiles.
Yeah.
They're not ashamed of anything.
No,
I don't think everything's curated.
Yeah,
they lean in.
They lean into everything.
Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, and
she's a good businesswoman too.
Yep, totally agree. All right, that's it for What's Up, Fool. Coming up next, Christine Brennan will join us. She has written a book on Caitlin Clark. And it comes out in a couple of weeks, but excerpts are starting to leak out where she gets to the bottom of why Caitlin Clark, for whatever reason, has been polarizing in the WNBA. I don't get it, but maybe Christine can help. She'll join us next. Momo in for Mase. I'm John Ireland, ESPN LA.
The fun way to drive home is with Sedano and Cap.
Coming up next at 3 p.m.
By the way, sorry I was late. I was marveling at my new bidet that we installed in my office bathroom.
I bought one too. I have to install mine.
Even when Cappy's not here, we still go to the toilets.
Yeah. Nothing like a little warm butt, man. Gotta be honest with you.
Is it a seat warmer too?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, you got that one.
Does it make a difference?
Yeah, it does.
It does. It really does.
It does.
Like when you go
when
to
I went to
Europe,
Cabo,
like,
when I went to Cabo, the hotel had one in the bathroom, and I was just like, my wife made the executive decision, like, we're getting one of these.
Yeah, it cleans you up. It cleans you up. Like those little white.
And look, I would say this, like, in California, it can get cold in the mornings and overnight, right? You know what I'm saying? Sure. And when you sit down that first time, oh wait,
hey,
Sedano and Cap on 710. The fun way to drive home.
Sedano and Cap.
Hey Rams fans, it's your quarterback Matthew Stafford here. Join me for Walk United LA at the Rose Bowl Stadium on July 20th. Participants can walk or run to support fire recovery efforts and our most vulnerable LA communities. Learn more at walkunitedla.org. See you there.
Hey guys, it's Sedano. Flashy discounts, gimmicky sales? Don't fall for it. At Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, we give you honest, wholesale pricing all year long. No bogus markups, no tricks, just the best floors at the best prices. Call 866-62-FLOOR. No sale beats wholesale. Hernandez Wholesale Flooring, check them out at hernandezwholesaleflooring.net or call them at 866-62-FLOOR.
For the best prices on hardwood carpet and more, call 866-62-FLOOR.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
was a seismic shift in Lakerland felt all around the sports world.
Now, all of a sudden, we're one of the richest owners in all the NBA.
Mark Walter is now leading the brand new Lakers ownership group.
The guy that owned the Dodgers bought the Lakers and caught just about everybody by surprise is exceptionally exciting.
When the news broke, LA turned to 710 for the passion and pride of the purple and gold.
New era, same home.
The home of the Lakers is 710 ESPN.
Mason and Ireland on LA's mega sports station.
Oh my, am I really on Mason and Ireland show?
Yes.
This is a great moment. Hey.
Right now, more of Mason and Ireland on 710.
Hi, it's LeBron. The Lakers play here.
710 ESPN.
KSPN, Los Angeles.
A Good Karma Brands radio station.
All right, Mason and Ireland. Ramona Shelburne is filling in for Mace. I've been looking forward to this all week. Christine Brennan is one of the best sports writers in the country, has been for a long time. And she has a new book out about Caitlin Clark. It's available for pre-order now, and it's called On Her Game. And Christine joins us now. Christine, thank you for doing this. How are you?
Well, I am great, John. And Ramona, one of my heroes. You are so lucky, John, to be sitting next to Ramona Shelburne,
Oh, I know.
one of the greats of all time.
I would say, Momo, I don't want to put words in your mouth, but I would think, and Christine, I'm not bringing this up to make you feel old. I'm the same age as you. But I think Christine is one of the people, Ramona, that has paved the way for people like you. Like, Christine, I'm Ramona's biggest fan. I read everything she does. I watch everything she produces. I'm like her pseudo agent. But I don't think, Momo, you get to where you are as quickly as you did
100%.
if Christine doesn't go first, right?
100%. I mean, Christine, we've covered a few events together, and I was probably too young to have the guts to go up to you and try to talk to you all the time. Like, we covered some U.S. gymnastics
That's a first,
stuff.
by the way.
I know. I mean, I think I did a little bit, but I mean, now if we would hang out, I would go buy you a drink and we'd have fun. You know, but I was in my early 20s and I was like, oh my God, it's Christine Brennan. I grew up watching her on NBC. She really is first of all, we call them OGs, right? But they're the Olympic journalists. Right. I grew up watching you at all the Olympic sports, but also she's broken some of the biggest stories ever in sports.
Oh, and Christine's had a great career. She's written
figure skating stories,
and she's written 7 or 8 books, and this latest one's back. Oh, Christine, by the way, before we get going, the person who's really bummed out that he's not here is Steve Mason, my regular partner, because as soon as I mentioned Christine was coming on, he goes, when? I said, she's coming on next Thursday. He goes, I'm going to be in Costa Rica. Christine is from Toledo.
Oh, wow.
Mason is from Toledo. Christine, were you born there?
What?
Were you born
Yes, born and raised. Do you know what high school he went to? I went to Ottawa Hills High School.
He's from Maumee, which is a suburb, and he went to Maumee High School.
Yeah.
So, but
I know it. Oh, sure.
Wow.
Okay, so let's get into your Caitlin Clark book here.
I'm psyched for this.
Yeah.
We have
and so am I. We talk about.
Well,
go ahead, Christine. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say. Well, first of all, yes. I mean, the Toledo conversation. I have good friends from Toledo who lives in L.A. Maybe he's listening right now. But in general, probably good to move to Caitlin Clark. But but yes, I'd love to be back on. Because, Mommy, Toledo, and I still own our family home in the suburbs of Toledo.
Oh, wow.
I'm the only person who works at the Olympics and vacations in Toledo. But that's, and I'm in D.C. most of the time. But, no, it's great to be with you. And I've got to tell you, Ramona, I don't know that we've gotten you books yet. You're in the book. Ramona did some amazing reporting. Do you know this, Ramona?
Okay, tell me. Which part?
Yeah, well, I mean, you'll remember. Because I love to give credit, not only just quote someone, but, the athlete. And this was your interview with Lisa Leslie.
Oh, yeah.
Where she said you cannot leave the country without Caitlin Clark.
Yes.
When, of course, the U.S. Olympic women's basketball team did, in fact, leave the country without Caitlin Clark.
Okay.
So there you go.
Yeah, Christine, you took me exactly where I wanted to start. I am a big, like most red-blooded Americans, I'm a big Caitlin Clark fan. I compare what she is to when Tiger Woods broke onto the golf scene. Or
Magic
when Michael Jordan took off in the NBA. She's a one-person beacon. Like people are drawn to her. The thing I don't get, Christine, is that in the case of Tiger and in the case of Jordan, the other players and the league around them, in Tiger's case, the PGA Tour, realized that a rising tide raises all boats and were incredibly supportive of Tiger and Jordan. With Caitlyn, it seems like, for whatever reason, she's polarizing. Like she's been hit with more flagrant fouls than any player ever this year. They tried to come at you when you were writing a story and said, don't ask questions about why people don't like Caitlin Clark. But I'm going to ask you, Christine, why is she polarizing in your opinion? Why do people not embrace the phenomenon that is Caitlin Clark?
It's one of the big points in the book. I deal with all of this and my research and reporting, because I was perplexed as well. I mean, this is the greatest moment ever for the WNBA. Yep. We wish it happened sooner. Of course we wish it happened sooner. There were amazing players who, as you know, Ramona, I mean, both you guys know, were toiling in obscurity, the male-dominated mainstream sports media ignoring them, not covering the WNBA, no one watching on TV, people denigrating women's basketball on radio shows. That's where we were for all those years. I fought hard. I was covering the W in the 90s, and it wasn't happening. And sports editors didn't want to hear it, and on they went with other sports, no matter how hard a lot of us tried. Okay, this is the moment. Here comes this kid. Now, it is a 74% black league, and I deal with this whole, there's a chapter called The League of Their Own. I deal with every part of this in the book, which, by the way, is about 95% Caitlin Clark magic, but also journalistic, unauthorized, which is not ominous at all. You want it to be unauthorized because I can tell the truth, unvarnished. Caitlin's quoted throughout the book. She was great answering any question I asked her, but dealing with these important issues. So you've got a 74% black league. We understand this. I mean, I'm white. Ramona, I think you guys are white. Yeah. We have no idea what it's like to be black in America. And I say that. Let's be brutally honest here. Here comes a white woman from Iowa, and she's going to be the biggest superstar. Now, absolutely, the spotlight's shining on her. Finally, it's shining on all these other players who deserved it for years but never got it. And that's a wonderful turn of events. But instead of focusing on the positives, sadly, the WNBA players, so many of them, not all, but quite a few, and certainly like Dejanay Carrington and others, have focused on the negative. I do quote Dr. Harry Edwards in the book, the great, of course, civil rights leader who's fighting cancer. We love Harry. And his voice about how great Caitlin was and how the WNBA failed the players by not preparing them, not because they're damsels in distress. They are not. They are tough, strong athletes, but because no one's ever seen anything like this before. And that's so the failure of the leadership of the WNBA to have seminars or Zoom calls or sociologists or psychologists, again, not because they're weak, but because this was so incredibly unusual and also such a watershed moment to take the WNBA to places that they always wanted to go, but never had gone until the arrival of Caitlin Clark.
The excerpt I've read so far is about the Olympic decision. And one of the I love the quote from Casey Wasserman where he talks about because Casey Wasserman's agency literally represents Diana Taurasi and Breanna Stewart and a lot of the players who were on that team. And he goes, "What?" I'm going to paraphrase it, but it was essentially, "What are we doing?" Right? Like, what the hell are we doing?
It's a missed opportunity.
Yeah, and the only question I had about her not being on the Olympic team was simply, was she tired? Did she not want to do it? Mm-hmm. And in reading your story, clearly that wasn't the answer. They just didn't want her in the team. And it brought me back to some of the questions about the selection process that we've seen other times. Candace Parker wasn't on the team one year, and that was a travesty. Nneka Ogwumike, I've covered some of these in depth. And it kind of comes back around to that UConn bias in a lot of cases. And I wonder how much of it is some of that. Because they've had Breanna Stewart was on the Olympic team after her college career. They certainly could have put Caitlin into that spot. How much do you think of it was just an anti-Caitlin Clark thing, and how much it was just some of that UConn stuff and the committee and how they're organized?
Well, the committee certainly made a decision that they did not want Caitlin Clark anywhere near the women's basketball team, which would then go around the world, go to Paris, barnstorming. Girls around the around the world would see this team because they'd watch for Caitlin Clark, but then they'd see all the other great players, Asia Wilson, and she would have been a one-person dream team, and instead they left her home, and of course her stats we went back and forth. Wilbon, my college classmate, and I went back and forth on this. He was like, well, you just don't put her on the team because of, bringing eyeballs. Okay, so let's look at the stats. Her stats were better than Diana Taurasi on the day that I was able actually to break the news when someone read me the list. I think it's a lot of things. I stick with what I know and what I report, as you do, of course, Ramona, and everything you do. And it's so great, and you're doing just a terrific job. But bottom line is, so I don't have the UConn bias, but what I do have is that, Gino goes on with Dan Patrick and has the worst sports prediction ever. Caitlin Clark doesn't have the physicality for the league. She's not going to be in the top 3 or 4 of the MVP voting. If people haven't, just Google it. It is truly breathtaking how wrong Gino was on everything. The next day was when the Olympic decision that I was able to break. So again, I don't know, but what I do know is that they couldn't even get their story straight. Yeah. Dawn Staley was on the committee, then she's, making the decision, but then she's on with Mike Tirico at the Olympics talking about how great Caitlin is. And they just didn't want her. And it is unbelievable and unspeakable. When you think, for example, as you mentioned, and, with Christian Laettner on the men's side, Lobo and others on the women's side.
Yeah, Breonna Stewart was
there.
This
is the greatest, exactly, in 2016 in Rio. But this is the greatest scorer in the history of Division I men's or women's basketball. And that's the one you choose to leave at home. And I think throughout, I do also have a chapter on the minimizing of Caitlin Clark and Taurasi's comments, Stewart's comments, the flurry of falsehoods from Cheryl Swoops, Cheryl Reeve, of course, what she said, Gino, et cetera. And, I do think that they just couldn't believe that a kid from Iowa who didn't go to UConn, who didn't go to Notre Dame, where she had originally said she would, flinging it from the parking lot, and it goes in, the passes that are just a dream, and they just couldn't believe that someone from this program could be this good, and they just didn't want to even begin to deal with her. And I truly, as you know, I've covered the Olympics since the previous LA Games, '84, and I've covered a lot of Olympic team decisions and individual decisions, putting people on the Olympic teams. It's the worst I've ever seen by far, and it looks worse every single day from that moment to right now.
We're talking to Christine Brennan, who has written a book on Caitlin Clark on her game. It'll be available next month. You can pre-order it now anywhere you get your books. And I wanted to mention this, Christine. You are going to be at a book signing. The Sparks, Momo, play the Fever on August 5th, and Christine's going to be in L.A.
Ooh, I'll be there.
At 6 o'clock on August 5th, they're going to be at the Watch Me Sports Bar in Long Beach, and they'll be doing book signings, giveaways, and some women's basketball trivia. So if you can't get tickets to the game, a lot of people can't because it'll sell out if it's not sold out already. August 5th at 6 o'clock, Christine will be at the Watch Me Sports Bar in Long Beach. All right, Christine, here's my question. I agree with everything you've laid out. Why is the hatred for Caitlin there? Can it simply be explained as a race issue, or did she alienate somebody? Or I don't get the why. I mean, if she was somebody that was, like a Nepo baby, or if she was somebody who was overly cocky, if she was like one of Dion's kids, I understand how those guys sometimes rub people the wrong way with their arrogance, but she doesn't strike me as that way. Why do you think this problem exists?
Well, again, I think it is such a shock to the system, right, of these players. Look at DeWanna Bonner, and there's reporting on her, and I don't have any inside reporting. So DeWanna Bonner was brought in by Stephanie White, the new coach, formerly Fever
for the
player
Fever,
and coach as
right.
well, for the Fever, brought from Connecticut, and she wanted to bring her star veteran, 37-year-old DeWanna Bonner, as a stabilizing influence, a leader for this young Indiana Fever team, Caitlin Clark, Aaliyah Boston, Kelsey Mitchell. They saw that they went out in 2 games in the playoffs, and they needed more depth and more leadership and more veteran savvy, et cetera. So that's the decision that Stephanie White makes. Within a couple of games, DeWanna Bonner is not playing well, and then she disappears, and then she's literally now gone and says she doesn't want to play, and she wants to trade, and
so
we'll see what's
weird.
happening with Phoenix and all of that.
Yeah.
Well, it is, but the little clue here, I was at that game May 17th, that home opener for the Fever against Chicago, and they just absolutely steamrolled them over 30 points. Great game by the Fever. And Bonner made it third all time at scoring, and had like 7 points. Her interview right afterwards, it's a joyous moment, right? I mean, we've all seen these interviews. Mona, you've done them, I've done them. We were talking to the player. This is easy stuff, and she goes, "I was shocked." She said at the crowd. I've never seen anything like this, never experienced anything like this before. And I thought, what an interesting thing to say. Honest, yay, we love honesty. Yeah. But she's 37 and she's never seen anything like this before. And of course, what she meant is 17,000 people, packed house, going crazy. They know their basketball, and they love you, and they love Caitlin, and they love everything about the team that Bonner is now on. Great, okay. And in talking to a source or two, it appears that Bonner was unable to, in some way, shape, or form, just deal with that spotlight, which is white hot, right? Yeah. It is just and I don't mean white and racial. I mean, it's just a super hot spotlight. And instead of loving it and going with it and making money, because Caitlin can't do every supermarket, gig and every gas station gig. And so whatever they get paid, a fee and honorarium, they're all getting all that stuff, the Fever players, because Caitlin can't do everything. And so this is a great life for them. And she couldn't handle it or didn't want it, or it was getting to her, whatever. So I do think there's such, and even the WNBA not being prepared, like you're seeing the crowds in the Big Ten. We're seeing around the nation, everything's selling out. And of course, the key of all, most amazing stat maybe ever, almost can't believe I'm going to say this sentence in my lifetime, that the women's final game, obviously South Carolina beating Iowa, had 4 million more viewers than the men's final the next evening. More watching women's than men's NCAA, right? Well, I think the WNBA, they just couldn't believe it was coming, that they'd been so beaten down, so little league, minor league, that it was just a shock. But again, that's where you have seminars and planning and talking it through and big time consultants to help with the moment. But that you have to recognize the moment before you can get those people. And I think Kathy Engelbert, the commissioner, and others just absolutely blew it. And it makes me sad to say that, because you want this to be a great moment. And it's kind of devolved into this big mess, unfortunately.
Christine, I still don't think they get it, right? And we've seen this in the way she gets beat up on the court and the way the referees protect her, don't protect her, right? Sophie Cunningham, the thing that happened a couple games ago, and Sophie kind of defended her afterwards. And and there's this, you and I have gotten into this with people of who they take shots at her, or the refs don't defend her. And then I don't feel a lot of leadership coming from the league in terms of how to handle this. I mean, in terms of dictating to the referees, and to the point where Adam Silver actually was asked about this, and he seemed sort of incredulous at how the WNBA had been handling it. And you and I have covered women's sports for such a long time. You've obviously seen the growth of the league from the very beginning, and I still don't quite get. I don't know if it's just that they don't believe it. I think there's a sort of quality, and I see this sometimes with rookies in the NBA too. There's you got to pay your dues quality. Like the Valkyries came into the league and they're already making more money than anyone. They're making like 3 times more money than any other team, because Joe Lacob has the Chase Center and they print money there, and they're already selling out and everything. And why didn't they let the Valkyries have a top 5 pick? And somebody said to me, well, everybody else, when they came into the league, they lost money, and so you have to pay your dues. And
seems like a backwards
business
plan.
And I think it's something like that with Caitlin. I think there's some level of, you're a rookie, you haven't suffered like we have, you shouldn't get to enjoy all this, like, just because you're you. And I don't know. I'm trying to wrap my head around it myself.
Well, no, there's definitely that. And of course, we understand that. I mean, that's how sports is, that you're going to get, pushed and shoved or whatever. The difference is this woman, Caitlin Clark, is your meal ticket. This is, again, you talked earlier about Tiger Woods. Well, Tiger, and I covered Tiger the length of his career. Absolutely. I mean, they got it quickly and moved on. Now, there wasn't social media the way there is now, so who knows what Tiger would have taken, incoming there. Yeah. But the difference there is men's golf, it had Arnold Palmer and Jack Nicklaus, and going back, Sam Snead and Byron Nelson. Yeah. So men's golf was established. Yeah. Tiger took it to a whole new level. Yeah. The WNBA was always down at the bottom, sadly, and Caitlin's bringing it up into major league status, men's major league status. And that's where you have to say, yes, play her tough. Caitlin doesn't want any sympathy. She's tough. She can give it out and take it, and she's feisty and all that. But you don't want to injure her. And, of course, now, as we know, she's injured again. And that means they're going to lose over half of their viewership because those are the stats. It's extraordinary. It's a devastating day in the WNBA. She's injured again. That is terrible for them, and I'm not even sure that it registers for them. Do they really want to keep the small things small, Ramona? Is that where we are?
Right.
I truly, and I don't have the answer to that.
Sure
but
seems like it.
It is absolutely perplexing what should be the greatest moment ever in women's team sport, and it is because of Caitlin Clark and the fans and the girls and the boys getting the autographs. Instead, the league the leadership of this league has just failed miserably. That's just not my voice in the book. That's other people as well.
Yeah.
And what a shame, because this is the moment they've been waiting for.
The book is called On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports by Christine Brennan, who has been our guest. Oh, Christine, last thing. This seems somewhat ridiculous, but I'm going to throw it at you anyway. Somebody hit me up earlier in the week and said, what if Caitlin Clark just left and started her own league because of the way she's been treated? Would that work? What do you think?
It's interesting. I thought of that, too. Nike loves her. She's got Wilson, obviously. She's got Gatorade. Even though the salary's, $76,000 for a rookie, it's more this year now. She's making, $28 million just from Nike alone, according to Wall Street. So she's at, $40 million, whatever. Okay, so fine. So she's doing great. And if Nike said, we're going to make the Nike Clark League,
right?
It takes a few years to get the arenas and whatever. But the TV contract, it's Caitlin.
Yeah.
Again, the TV viewership it's Caitlin Clark. It's not Angel and Caitlin. It's Caitlin. It's Caitlin Clark only. And I think Angel's a great rebounder and great, excellent at what she does.
Yeah.
She doesn't move the needle on TV ratings. It's Caitlin. And they could do it. I think they could absolutely put it together in a couple of years. And I'll stay on that because I agree with you. It's fascinating and it's doable because of the void and the vacuum of leadership that the WNBA continues to exhibit.
Yeah. Christine, what I would say is this reminds me the most of Magic and Larry, right? When Larry first came into the league and there was this sort of, we saw this in winning time, right?
Lightning in a bottle. Yeah.
And I think that they got to figure this out soon. I think Adam Silver's getting more involved. That's my takeaway.
And Christine, I think you're going to start the conversation all over again with this book. I can't wait to read it. Again, On Her Game, Caitlin Clark and the Revolution in Women's Sports by Christine Brennan. Hits shelves July 8th. You can order it now on pre-order. And Christine, can't thank you enough for doing that. I think you can tell we're kind of like your mutual.
I'm a little fangirl here.
Yeah, we both are. We're big
Can we
fans.
hang when you come to town? Can I'm going to slide into your DMs and let's go hang out when you come to town.
I would love to. Let's do that.
Okay.
And we'll bring Steve and we'll talk about the Toledo.
There you go.
Yes, okay, good.
There you go. Oh, Christine, continued success. Thanks for doing this.
Oh, my pleasure. Thanks to both of you. Have a great rest of your day, and hopefully we'll see you in August when I'm out there.
All right, sounds good. That's Christine Brennan, who has written the case.
Oh, my God, that was such a Mason thing that I just did. Like, when you have somebody on air and they can't say no.
Right.
Yeah, can we hang? Like, she totally doesn't want to hang with me.
No. I actually believe
she
that
want to.
She will. I can see you going to this book signing unless you go to the game.
I'll go to both.
Yeah, but, well, hopefully... what Christine said there, that's news from yesterday. Caitlin's hurt again.
Yeah, I didn't know that she was that serious.
They announced that yesterday. She's out indefinitely, so hopefully she plays in that game. All right. But that was fun talking to her. By the way, coming up later, Game of Games. It's Momo's game. If you listen to the show, Ramona's games are either great or terrible.
It's pretty good.
You feeling good about this one?
I worked hard on this one.
All right, we're back after this. ESPN LA.
It's a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Listen all day for the cue to call, and you can win a pair of tickets to see Jake Paul versus Julio Cesar Chavez at the Honda Center on Saturday, June 28th. Just be caller number 7 when you hear that cue to call at 877-710-ESPN. Listen all day for your chance to win or get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com. A Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN.
Ever feel like the road is out to... Thankfully, Hyundai is always working to ensure it doesn't, with over 130 IIHS Top Safety Awards since 2006. IIHS Top Safety Awards include Top Safety Pick and Top Safety Pick Plus awards to Hyundai vehicles from 2006 to 2025.
Now for a limited time, lease a Hyundai Tucson for only $259 a month. Or get 2.99% APR. See your SoCal Hyundai dealer. Offers end July 7th. Call 714-568-7676 for details.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
Do you have trouble getting in and out of the bathtub? Are you afraid you'll slip and fall entering or exiting a tub? Safe Step walk-in tubs can transform your bathtub from an area of concern to a calming refuge. Call them today at 1-800-731-4558 and save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs and showers are proudly made in Tennessee and offer an ultra-low step-in, avoiding that difficult climb over a traditional bathtub wall. They also offer a variety of therapeutic benefits that may help soothe your aching muscles and joints, increasing your mobility, boosting your energy, and improving your sleep. Safe Step walk-in tubs are designed to easily fit your existing tub space and are often installed in as little as one day. Just dial 1-800-731-4558 today to save $1,600 and receive a free shower package. That's 1-800-731-4558 for a free no-obligation consultation and to save $1,600. Safe Step walk-in tubs. Safety never felt so good.
And it is Mason in Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. Momo sitting in for Mase. Here's a little tease. I've been teasing it all summer. I know it has nothing to do with contracts. Listen Tuesday at 12:30 p.m. for a major Mason in Ireland announcement. How you can press the flesh with the fellas in private. ... That's Tuesday on a live imaging Tuesday. Of course I did it on a Tuesday. 12:30 p.m. Mason in Ireland announcement right now. Your Thursday edition continues on 710 ESPN and on YouTube at ESPN Los Angeles.
A little old school here, Kasim.
Kasim, did you know these are my guys?
Really? I did not
Did you know that as a junior high schooler?
Can you do the dance?
No, but when I was in junior high, I used to go down to Venice Beach and buy like crisscross shirts. And then one day I decided that I was going to go to the playground. At the playground, okay.
Are you trying to be street here,
This is
Momo?
my era.
I don't know if it's working.
That song is another bad creation. Yeah. Okay, ABC. And crisscross. I went down to the playground and I turned my clothes backwards, like crisscross used to do, and I went around like that all day long. And I thought I was so cool. And people go, "Hey, your pants are on backwards." I go, "I know. I'm totally crossed out." I literally did that. I thought I was so cool. That was about 7th grade.
Okay, so by the way, Dodgers going to the bottom of the ninth in Colorado. They lead 3-1. Tanner Scott, who is always filled with drama every time he pitches, is coming in to close out the game for the Dodgers. We'll keep you posted on that. All right, I want to ask you something about this. Is a political question, but it's not about politics. There was this mayoral race in New York City that came down the other day. It was Zoran Mamdani against Andrew Cuomo.
Yeah.
Mamdani actually was 6 or 7 points down in the polls, and he ended up winning. This is a preliminary injection for the Democratic nomination. But that's not what I want to talk about. They were each asked by the media. They got the question, Momo. Yeah. Yankees or Mets?
Which is a standard mayoral question.
Yeah. Pretend that you and I are both running for mayor of L.A., okay? And the guy comes up to you and says, Ramona.
Yeah.
Lakers or Clippers? Rams or Chargers?
Right.
Angels or Dodgers?
Right.
Mamdani said right away, Mets.
Yeah.
Been a Mets. He goes, I'm a glutton for punishment. I know the Mets aren't as good as the Yankees, but I'm a Mets fan. And he even said, by the way, Steve Cohen, do not spend any money on this political race. Spend it on the team.
Yeah.
The Mets need help. The Mets are in the middle of a losing streak.
Yeah.
Cuomo said both. And the reporter goes, come on, you can't be a fan of both. No New Yorker's a fan of the Yankees and the Mets. He goes, I was the governor of this state. I know better than to answer that question. Go Yankees, go Mets. What is the smarter answer if you're running for mayor?
You have to pick. You have to answer.
I totally agree with you.
Nailed that. I mean, you got to just say it, explain it, move along. Like, to me, it's...
When they used to ask Obama, Cubs or White Sox, he would always say White Sox.
And people were like, really? White Sox? But he's like, I'm from the South Side, right?
Right.
So, I mean, if somebody running for mayor in LA came out and said I was a Clipper fan, I would wonder why, because most people from LA are Laker fans, etc. But I would understand as long as I like the underdog. I grew up a Clipper fan. Somebody had season tickets, whatever. I grew up in Lob City. Blake Griffin was my guy.
Rams
whatever.
or Chargers. I'm actually a Charger fan. I got on the board early.
Why not?
I mean, why not?
Why not? Just explain yourself. Be real.
I think authenticity is what people
100%.
are looking for, and Cuomo, I don't think it cost him the election, but Cuomo made a huge mistake not answering this.
Yeah.
I mean, I think people smell that a mile away.
He also is not from New York City.
That's the problem. And now he didn't win.
Yeah.
All right. Coming up next, and by the way, we're about 10 minutes away from Game of Games. That's Momo's game today.
Fairly good.
What's it about?
Second round draft picks.
Second round draft picks.
Yeah, but I wrote it good, so it's not just like name that person. It's better than that.
Okay, good.
Okay. Because today's the second round of the NBA draft.
Exactly.
Yeah.
If you own a business, you got to use Thrive, the leading managed security service provider in the U.S. Here's the thing. I've been hacked. You don't want that. The truth is 1/3 of businesses will unwittingly turn over their sensitive company data to thieves this year. In an instant, your customer files, bank accounts, everything is compromised, and you won't know until the $1 million ransom demand hits your email. Preventing data turnovers is why your business needs Thrive. Again, they're the leading managed security service provider in the United States. It all starts with a cyber risk assessment. Thrive security analysts identify gaps and deliver solutions to help keep your network healthy and protected. It's not a matter of if, it's when. So get ready. Get your no-obligation security recommendations. Your business relies on it. Go to this website, thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. That's thrivenextgen.com/ESPN. Protect your business with Thrive.
It's a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Here's your cue to call. Be caller number 7 right now at 877-710-ESPN, and you win a pair of tickets for Saturday, June 28th at the Honda Center to see Jake Paul to take on Julio Cesar Chavez. Caller number 7 right now wins. Listen all day for your chance to win or get your tickets right now at Ticketmaster.com on a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN.
The NBA, the draft, free agency, the offseason, every moment of what the purple and gold do on the biggest offseason this history. We have your dose of what's next for the Lakers, thanks to Pro Baller, the official energy drink of the Los Angeles Lakers.
When pain keeps you from doing what you love, Hoag Orthopedic Institute gets you back to you. We are ranked number 18 in the nation and number 1 in Orange County for orthopedic and spine care by U.S. News & World Report. From the surf to the green, our world-class doctors are there, which is why more Californians choose Hoag Orthopedic Institute for orthopedic and spine care more than any other hospital. At Hoag Orthopedic Institute, there is no one better at getting you back to you. Proudly founded by premier physicians in partnership with Hoag. Learn more at HoagOrthopedicInstitute.com.
Pacific Palms Resort, LA's Hilltop Hideaway and #1 work and play resort, provides opportunities for all travelers and locals. Enjoy restful accommodation, dine in the Red Restaurant with an expansive outside patio, or pamper yourself and relax at the spa. Hit the links at one of their 2 championship courses, the Babe and the Ike. Pacific Palms Resort is the perfect choice for a Los Angeles venue for your business meetings, weddings, and big events. Enjoy a beautiful staycation or family holiday at their Hilltop property. Book your stay at LA's #1 work and play resort today at PacificPalmsResort.com.
4th of July savings start now at Carden Alleyway Hyundai. Lease a brand new Hyundai Elantra SCL Sport for just $219 a month for 36 months with only $34.99 due at signing. Drive with confidence backed by America's best warranty, 10 years or 100,000 miles, and Hyundai's exclusive owner assurance program. Visit us off the 91 freeway or schedule your test drive now at CardenAlleyWayHyundai.com. With SU94 4151, $34.99 due at signing plus tax. License $85 doc fee and registration. No security deposit. 10,000 miles per year. Offer expires 7/7/2025.
Every 40 seconds, a child is reported missing. That's 2,000 children every single day. It's a heart-wrenching reality that we can no longer ignore. Find the Children is a non-profit organization dedicated to helping find missing kids. You can be a part of their mission by donating your unwanted vehicle, running or not. Call 1-800-294-0222. We guarantee that you will receive the maximum tax deduction. We provide fast, free pickup with 24-hour response. Call 1-800-294-0222. 0222. Find the Children provides crucial resources to help find missing children and educational materials to teach kids how to recognize and avoid predators. Our recovery programs have a proven track record of reuniting kids with their families. It's time to act. Donate your unwanted or unused car. Help us build a world where every child is safe. Pick up the phone and call 1-800-294-0222. Together, we can bring these kids home safely. This advertisement was paid for in partnership with Cars R Us and Find the Children.
And it is Mason in Ireland, your Thursday afternoon. The NBA Draft Round 2 tonight. We know the Lakers have moved up. What will happen? We bring you all the coverage courtesy of ESPN Radio starting at 4:30 p.m. on 7:10 a.m. and the ESPN Radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. Meanwhile, Sedano and Cap will continue till 6 p.m. Have them as your second stream at ESPN Los Angeles on YouTube and the Listen Live tile on the all-new ESPN LA app. That's today at 4 p.m. Meanwhile, Mason in Ireland with Momo continues on 710 ESPN, and always you can listen live on the all-new ESPN LA app.
All right, Momo in for Mase today. We're about 10 minutes away from Game of Games, and I saw this on The Athletic the other day, Momo, and I wanted to bring it up with you. I think that most people, including us, are underestimating how big of a artificial intelligence is. I think it's going to take over the world.
Yeah, Skynet. You know I'm always a Skynet person.
Yeah. So Josh Kendall is the author of this piece.
Yeah.
He says AI is coming to the NFL.
Ooh.
And it's going to transform the game. Ooh. And he says the biggest adopter of it so far is the oldest coach in the league, Pete Carroll. Yeah, he says that Pete says, I'm not sure exactly what it's going to look like, but I know it's going to look at, we may be here's what Pete says. Everything you can think of is possible right now. And of course, he taught a class last year at USC. Yeah. And he brought Deepak Chopra into his class, and he said all he talked about was AI, giving him the opportunity to interview himself, talking to himself through AI. So he was actually questioning his own person and being answered by his own person in return. Mm-hmm. He says, I get some of it feels like science fiction, but AI is around the corner for all of us.
Wow.
He foresees a world where the computers will pick the plays. You know, right now, like Bill Walsh used to script the first 20 plays. He says, we can get to a place where we have something like ChatGPT that's following everything that's happening in the NFL and will come up with your game plan completely on its own.
Yikes.
How weird would that be?
I believe it. Look, I just got a note from my representatives that said, hey, OpenAI has updated ChatGPT's image generation capabilities. Upon request, ChatGPT can now generate images that depict public figures and create likenesses of many well-known individuals like yourself. Out of an abundance of caution and respect for your privacy, would you like to opt out of that request so that they just can't create stuff of you talking?
Right.
There's just so many things now.
Here's the flip side of that.
Whew.
Currently,
AI
is capable of watching game film from two teams, formulating a game plan, and printing out call sheets for both the offensive and defensive coordinators. In other words, all in a matter of seconds, Ramona, it would figure out which play has the highest percentage chance of working, okay? Ooh. Which play has worked before, which play hasn't worked before, and it will tell both coordinators what's coming next.
Oh, my God.
I think it's going to be weird, but really interesting. And pretty soon AI is going to be. So they told us that.
That makes sense, too.
Kate, Mason and I have done 30 years of shows.
Yeah.
Somebody from the world of AI told me they're convinced if we gave them our archives, he could come up with an entire show of Mason and Ireland, of which it's not really us. It's just AI, but people at home wouldn't be able to tell the difference.
Yeah, I'm out of a job as a fill-in host then, right?
Well, how about
you guys take a day off,
I'm
you never need anyone else.
I'm out of a job as a host. They don't need me anymore. They got 30 years of me talking.
So I hear all of this, and yet I have my own experience where I go on ChatGPT, and I'm probably like first-generation ChatGPT and really don't even know what I'm doing. But every time I use it to like help me write a game, it makes mistakes. Every time, like I was going on... when I was on the road, I was really into working out. And so I would find like yoga studios near me. And I would say, hey, help me find a class around 2:00 in downtown Oklahoma City. It sucked. I was just, it could never really do it. It found 4 or 5 things, but they never had the right classes. It couldn't figure out how to do
that's now. What's it going to be like in 6 months?
I hope it's better. I don't know. It doesn't feel like all the things that I hear it can do, and probably I'm not using the right version or whatever it is. It's just not there yet.
All right, so here's what's coming. Over time, it will get better. And what you'll do is say, here are all the series that led to first downs. Here are all the series that didn't lead to first downs. What are the important differences? You just let the AI machine take all that data and say, here are the differences. The machine will learn it, and they'll find things you didn't know were there. So I think it's like anything else.
Yeah.
You have to use it as a tool rather than the Bible.
Yeah.
But it's coming. They're going to say, why would you run that play there? You've run that play 10 times before. It only worked once.
Wow.
It's all going to be at your fingertips, which is crazy. All right, coming up next,
I don't like it. I just don't like it.
Game of games. Momo's game today. We'll do it next. ESPN LA.
And breaking NBA draft news for tonight. The Lakers are moving up in the second round of the NBA draft, acquiring the number 45 pick from the Chicago Bulls and trading the 55th and some cash, according to Shams and ESPN. We're talking about what it means for tonight. And don't forget, you can hear the second round of the draft starting at 4:30 p.m. today on 710 ESPN and the ESPN radio tile on the all-new ESPN LA app.
Breaking news on 710 ESPN is powered by Valvoline Instant Oil Change, home of the 15-minute drive-through oil change. Visit SoCalOilChange.com for coupons and locations.
And it's a Ticket Thursday on 710 ESPN. Listen all day for your cue to call and be caller number 7 at 877-710-ESPN. That's 877-710-3776 to win a pair of tickets to Paul versus Travis Jr. like Elvis did in North Hills. It's all happening this Saturday, June 28th at Honda Center in Anaheim. Listen for your chance to win, or you can get your tickets now at Ticketmaster.com.
All right, listen up. Whether you're out for a walk, hitting the gym, or just tackling your day, in this LA heat, chafing is no joke. Take my word for it. That's why you need Highlands Chafing Relief. This stuff is a game changer. Goes on like a cream, dries like a powder, and stays put even through sweat and water. No greasy mess, just all-day protection. If you've already got some chafing, Highlands soothes it fast with aloe, shea butter, and tea tree oil. Don't let chafing slow you down. Grab Highlands Chafing Relief at Walmart or Target right now.
Don't navigate the legal system alone. Hey, it's Travis. At the personal injury law offices of Joseph S. Normand, they will fight tirelessly to get you the max compensation you deserve. Joe and his team understand the emotional and financial toll that an injury can take on you and your life. Call 213-747-2000 or visit normandlegal.com. The law offices of Joseph S. Normand have helped thousands of people like you recover millions of dollars in settlements and verdicts. Visit normandlegal.com or call 213-747-2000. Your recovery is their priority.
Are you ready to make a difference for the environment while helping the visually impaired at the same time? Then donate your vehicle to Heritage for the Blind today by calling 1-800-983-6530. Every donated vehicle will either be properly recycled in an eco-friendly manner or given a new life through reuse. Donating your vehicle is easy. Simply call 1-800-983-6530 and Heritage for the Blind will do the rest. They'll even arrange for your vehicle to be picked up at no cost to you. And for a limited time, when you donate your car, you'll receive a $200 restaurant voucher and a 2-night, 3-day hotel stay at one of 50 locations. Call 1-800-983-6530 right now to schedule your vehicle donation and make a positive impact on the environment while helping others. Heritage for the Blind, where every car donation counts and every person makes a difference. Call 1-800-983-6530 now. This advertisement is paid for by Heritage for the Blind.
710 ESPN.
And it is time for Game of Games on the #1 sports radio show in LA, Mason and Ireland. Game of Games. Game of Games presented by CallJacob.com.
Call Jacob.
Everyone loves a fighter, but in this town, winning matters, especially after an accident. So remember, anyone can fight, but CallJacob.com is here for you when you need a big win. After an accident, go to CallJacob.com or call 844-24-JACOB. That's 844-24-JACOB. We got the jingle.
Call Jacob.
Thank you. Game of Games time. Take it away, Mase.
All right, no Mase today. Momo in for him, and Ramona has the game. 4 players today. Laura Romo, Kasim Diakate, me, and Graham Metzger from our social team. Graham, have you played Game of Games before?
Yes, and it was actually Momo's game.
Oh, wow.
And how'd you do?
Terrible.
Okay, so let's see if you behave better today. Momo, what do we got?
Okay, we have second round draft picks, okay?
Okay.
So these are questions that I wrote about players who were taken in the second round of the NBA draft.
Gotcha.
Okay, tonight is the second round, and there have been some good ones,
All
okay?
right, before you start, I'll say the Dodgers closed out the Rockies. They won 3-1 to
Oh, my
sweep that
gosh.
series. Go ahead.
Okay. Hold on, get the right thing. Okay. All right. We're going to say we have 9 questions and a tiebreaker.
Good.
Okay?
Okay.
Let's start off with something hard. Okay.
Why not?
Why not? Gilbert Arenas fell to 31st overall in the 2001 draft because of questions about his maturity. Who's keeping track, by the way?
Me.
Okay. What is something that he actually said during his interviews that gave that impression?
Okay.
A, I'm not doing that treadmill test. I'll ruin my Chuck Taylors. B, I've never read a book before and I'm not about to start. Or C, my favorite food is Taco Bell.
Laura.
First to Laura.
I will go with the first one, the test. Treadmill
Okay,
test.
the Chuck Taylors. Okay.
Kasim.
I'll go B.
B is I've never read a book before.
I will
Okay.
go. I will go C, the one about Taco Bell.
Okay, and who else?
Graham.
Graham.
I'll go C.
The only one who got it right is Laura. It is
Boom.
the Chuck Taylors.
All right,
I'm not
Laura.
doing that treadmill test.
All right,
I
Laura.
think that was in like the doc or whatever, right? Like they did on him.
I don't know. I saw it on a podcast
All right,
interview.
good.
Okay.
Okay.
He may not be the most famous 55th overall draft pick, but Aaron Wiggins is now a champion and key player on the Oklahoma City Thunder. What other activity did he compete in as a kid? Is it compete? So a competitive activity.
Gotcha.
Is it A, piano, B, dance, or C, violin?
Kasim.
Piano.
I'm gonna go dance.
Okay.
Graham.
I'm going to go dance as well.
Laura.
And I'm going to go violin.
The correct answer is dance.
Boom.
Competitive
Graham
dancer,
and I are
Aaron
on the
Wiggins.
It's kind of a smart
His
move there.
dad played for the Rockets, I think, right? Or is that the other one? Is that no? Yeah, that's Andrew Wiggins. His dad played for the Rockets.
Oh, yeah, that sounds right.
Yeah. Okay. Keep
Okay.
going. All right. So everybody's got a point except Kasim. Look alive over there, man.
Okay.
Come on.
All right, let's. Okay, I'm picking one. Okay, Nikola Jokic was famously drafted during a Taco Bell commercial in the second round of the 2014 draft. 2 of his current teammates were also taken in the same draft. Okay, in that same 2014 draft.
Okay.
Which one of these was not taken in 2014?
Okay.
Is it A, Dario Saric, B, Aaron Gordon, or C, DeAndre Jordan?
This
Who's
one's
first?
me.
Okay. Dario Saric, Aaron Gordon, or DeAndre Jordan? 2 of those were same
Yeah.
draft.
I'm going to say the one who was not.
Okay.
Was DeAndre Jordan.
Okay.
Graham.
I'm following you again, John. DeAndre Jordan.
Laura.
With the crowd.
Kasim.
Also going DeAndre Jordan.
You guys are all right. Good
Okay,
guess.
good. Kasim's on
That
the
was a
board.
hard question.
Yeah.
I was like,
just
no
think-
one's going to get this.
I think DeAndre's older than those guys. I think he was drafted before them, but I could be wrong.
In and around there.
Yeah.
So very close.
All right,
Okay.
everybody has 2 except Kasim's got 1.
Okay. Norman Powell was a second-round draft pick out of UCLA in 2015. Before starring for the Bruins, he won 2 state titles at the same high school as which USC legend? Okay, same high school.
Okay.
Matt Leinart, Reggie Bush, or Matt Barkley?
Graham.
I'll go Leinart.
Okay.
Laura.
Let's go Reggie Bush. Why not?
Kasim.
Barkley.
I think it's Reggie Bush because Leinart and Barkley both went to Mater Dei and Bush went to high school in San Diego, so I think it's Bush.
Very good, John.
Yeah.
Reggie Bush, Lincoln High.
Laura and I both got it. All right, so Laura and I have 3, Graham 2, Kasim 1. Here we go.
Okay. Despite winning 2 national championships at Villanova, Jalen Brunson was a second-round pick. Which of the following is not one of his nicknames?
Okay.
I'm going to list you Jalen Brunson nicknames.
Okay.
Is it A, Big Body, B, Little Jalen, or C, Little Bodega? And who is that to?
Laura.
Let's do the middle one.
Little Jalen.
Yeah, Little
Okay.
Jalen.
Kasim.
Little Bodega.
Okay.
This one's me. What was the first one?
Big Body.
Yeah, I don't think that's one. I'll say big body. Graham.
I'm going to go Little Jalen.
Okay, the correct answer is Little Bodega.
Oh, somebody got
Kasim.
it.
Kasim got it.
All right, so this just...
You know who calls him Big Body Brunson is Perk.
Oh, no kidding.
Perk always calls it Big Body Brunson. Yeah.
All right, so Laura and John have 3. Kasim and Graham have 2. How many are left?
I don't know. I've been going out of order.
I think it's 4. She said she had
Okay.
9 in a tiebreaker.
Yeah, 9 in a tiebreaker.
All right.
Which second-round pick, selected 57th overall in 1999, went on to become an NBA champion and Olympic gold medalist? Is it A, Manu Ginobili, B, Marc Gasol, or C, Michael Redd?
All right, I have to go first on this one, and I'm going to say Ginobili.
Okay.
Laura.
I'm going to be honest. I didn't hear all of them, so I'm going to go B.
Ginobili-
I'll just go B.
okay,
That's
Marc
that's
Gasol.
my strategist.
Oh, you're going Marc Gasol. Kasim.
Also going Manu.
You're going Manu. Graham.
With the crowd, Manu.
It is Manu Ginobili.
Not with the crowd.
Very
sorry.
good. I thought people would go Michael Redd. Okay.
All right, so John has 4. Everyone else has 3.
Okay.
All right, here we go.
All right, this is a good one. Rashard Lewis was drafted 32nd overall in 1998 by Seattle. He later went on to win an NBA championship with which team? San Antonio, Dallas, or Miami?
This
Rashard
is me,
Lewis.
and I do not know the
I know,
answer.
I wrote these hard.
Okay. I'm going to say Miami, but it's a guess. Graham.
I'm going Miami.
Kasim.
I think it's Miami, yeah.
Laura.
I'm with the crowd.
It's Miami. You guys are all right.
Wow, that was lucky. That
Yeah.
was a straight guess.
I mean, it's hard because nobody remembers him on those teams.
Yeah. All right. So John has 5. Everyone
Okay,
else
I got
has
2
4.
more. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. Draymond Green was a second-round pick out of Michigan State, but he likes to associate himself with Saginaw, his hometown.
Right.
Which of these NBA players is not from Saginaw? Okay.
Okay.
Jason Richardson, Andre Roberson, or Tristan Thompson? And who is this to?
Me, because I have the lead, and there are 2 left.
Yeah.
Tristan Thompson is my guess. I'm going to say Tristan. Laura.
That's who I was going to go with, Tristan.
Kasim.
Andre Roberson.
Graham.
I'm going Roberson as well.
The answer is Tristan Thompson.
Yeah, he's from Canada.
Yeah.
Isn't he? Okay.
Yeah.
So that
I have
means
to go
I
opposite
thought no
of
one
you,
would guess
John, now.
Roberson.
All right.
I thought Roberson would be the guess, right? 'Cause
Yeah,
he's so random.
Roberson is from the same hometown as Jordan Clarkson. Somewhere.
I looked it up.
Yeah, but Roberson's not. Yeah, you're or is Roberson from Saginaw?
Yeah.
Okay, I know Roberson and Clarkson grew up together. All right, Graham and Kasim are out. Laura has 5 and I have 6. So if I get this right, I win it. If I clipper it, then Laura can tie me. Here we go.
This former All-American from Duke was taken 35th overall in 2002. Like many Duke players over the years, he was repped by Rob Pelinka. Now one of his sons is projected as a lottery pick. Is it A, Corey Maggette, B, Carlos Boozer, or C, Ed Davis?
I'm going to guess Carlos Boozer. Laura, what do you so Laura has to pick either Ed Davis or who was the other one? Corey Maggette?
Yeah.
You want Ed Davis or Corey Maggette?
So it is Boozer, but I will go Maggette.
Is it Boozer?
It's Boozer.
Okay, so that means I win.
His son Cam Boozer is going to be like
Doesn't
top
he
5
have
pick.
twins?
Yeah, but one of
Yeah.
them is going to be a top 5.
Okay, so I've won it, but let's do the tiebreaker just for fun. Did you write one?
Yeah.
Okay.
So this is just a Jalen Brunson question.
Okay.
Closest. Closest. Okay. Closest. How many 50-point games does Jalen Brunson have? Just closest.
Okay. I wrote down a number. Graham, how many?
6.
I wrote down 4. Kasim?
I said 9.
Laura?
I said 3.
Laura's correct.
Boom,
It's exactly
Laura!
3.
You're getting better.
Way to go. Okay.
Now, Laura, by winning this, did I lock it up?
I think so.
What
because
are the totals now? Because that was worth 2.
Yeah, so you have 7 now with this
Oh,
win.
that was worth 2.
Yeah, that's why I was kind of mad.
How many do you have?
I have 2. Brian and Mason have 3, but Brian's gone. So is Mason tomorrow. It's my
And
game
it's
tomorrow.
And it's Friday, Monday. Yeah, so I don't think I can be caught.
So Brian and Mason are both back
On Monday.
and then we have.
And I'm not here Monday.
Right.
So if I stay at 7,
if you stay,
no, they can't catch me.
No,
because neither one of them are playing tomorrow, right?
No, but they do play Monday and Tuesday.
Is Tuesday part of July or
Yes.
June? No, Tuesday's July 1st, right?
Is it? I thought it was.
Let me look. I'm
June
looking at
30th.
I'm looking
so
at a
confused.
calendar. Tuesday's July 1st.
Okay, then you won.
So then I locked it up. All right, so we'll start the new month tomorrow.
Okay.
Mona, that game was
It was
excellent.
okay, right?
Yeah, not bad
I was
at
like,
all.
how do we make these interesting? By the way, I talked to Aaron Wiggins about being a competitive dancer.
Yeah, what did he say?
And he said it was something that, I mean, like, he was really good. You can find videos of him as like a competitive dancer. And he goes, my mom that was something my mom pushed and I was into it and all that. But I think he could be on so you think he could be on one of those shows?
Yeah, you know who I think was on one of those shows, like on Star Search or something, was Kemba Walker was a competitive dancer. Laura, who's doing the Sedano and Cap show?
We have Beto and Sedano. Sedano and Beto.
All right, so we'll get Sedano and Beto in here next. Mason and Ireland, ESPN LA.
Sedano and Cap.
Next at 3 p.m. after Mason and Ireland.
Today, before I came here, I made a sandwich for myself, but I only had the heels of the bread to use, the heel.
Did you toast it?
I did not.
No, toasted heel is good. If you have like a loaf of bread, like a French bread, do you eat the butt?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, me too.
I don't. Yeah. So do
you eat that butt?
I love it. The heels, the butt, all of it.
Sedano and Cap weekdays at 3 p.m.
on 710 ESPN.
Flip-flops on. Now your top reasons to visit Morongo.
The Summer Bash. Live entertainment, carnival food, and freebies all weekend long.
Number 2.
Mosen's Happy Hour, Monday through Thursday, 2 to 5 p.m. and Friday, noon to 5 p.m.
And the number 1 reason.
The $50,000 giveaway. 16 table gamers get $2,500 in promo chips, 6 to 9 p.m. And one winner gets 10 grand cash at 10 p.m. the 29th.
Morongo. Good times.
Hey Rams fans, it's your quarterback Matthew Stafford here. Join me for Walk United LA at the Rose Bowl Stadium on July 20th. Participants can walk or run to support fire recovery efforts and our most vulnerable LA communities. Learn more at walkunitedla.org. See you there.
Next Gen, the official air conditioning, heating, plumbing, and electrical team of SoCal sports fans. Did you know that the water in Southern California contains nitrates, pesticides, forever chemicals, lead, chromium, chlorine, and more? See what a difference purified water can make for you and your family. For a limited time, Next Gen's offering everyone $500 off any whole home water purification system. And with thousands of 5-star reviews and a decade of experience, you can trust them for quality service and expertise. Next Gen is your whole home comfort provider, offering plumbing, AC, heating, and electrical services. Schedule a visit today and learn all about the benefits of cleaner water and total home comfort. We're talking whole home expertise, financing options, 5-star service, and 7-day-a-week availability. So don't wait. Call right now, 833-3-NEXGEN today to start the benefits of cleaner water for your home tomorrow. CSLB number 1011173. Next Gen, here for you now and for years to come.
NEXGEN, call 833-3NEXTGEN.
Hi, this is Sean McVay of your LA Rams. The Rams play here. KSPN, Los Angeles.
710 ESPN.
A good karma brands radio station. KSPN AM 710 Los Angeles. KRDC AM 1110 Pasadena, Los Angeles.
K256CX 99.1 FM Pasadena, Los Angeles.
It's the greatest segment in LA sports radio history.
Oh my God. When the shows come together for magic on the radio.
It will only grow stronger. Super Crosstalk.
Are we ready for Sedano and Cap to join Mason and Ireland?
Super Crosstalk begins. Super Crosstalk. Presented by Coors Light. Coors Light. Made to chill.
It's time for Super Crosstalk.
All right, this is a first. Both Sedano and Beto are blowing off Super Crosstalk, so it's less than super today. But I think they're breaking up over there.
I think it's super because I'm here.
There you go.
I haven't been here in a while, so I'm like extra strong Momo.
All right, so the Dodgers won again today. They are now tied for the best record in all of baseball.
As they should be.
Do you know the bet I have with Travis?
Do they break the all-time record?
No. Here's the bet.
Okay.
If the Dodgers win the World Series, I have to come in here and do Travis's show and then do my show.
Back to back.
Yeah. So it'd be, it's a 6-hour shift for me.
Wow. Hey, Sedano.
The opposite is if any one of the other 29 teams win the World Series, Travis has to do my show and do a 6-hour show.
Wow, so you bet against the Dodgers.
I did because I thought Mason and Travis were obnoxiously overconfident.
Yeah, they are.
They both said the Dodgers were going to win 120 games.
Well, listen.
Now, if I give George and Rona, if I give you the choice now of what side of that bet, you can take Travis's side or my side.
Field?
The field or the Dodgers?
No, I would take your side. The field is
You
always better.
Always take the field.
Yeah, you always
Yeah.
take the field.
But
I mean, listen.
they're now tied for the best record in all of baseball.
I was just in there recording commercials with the crazy Hernandez brothers who are going to join us in a little while. Biggest Dodger fans around. They're literally going to go to Clayton Kershaw's next start so they can get to 3, so they can see him pitch to get 3,000 strikeouts.
You only need
4
3 now.
or 3.
3 to get to 3,000.
Right. Yeah. So it's people are hot on the Dodgers right now. They have the same record that they had last year at this time, despite even more injuries than they had last year.
Do you guys think that once Kershaw gets to 3,000 strikeouts, that's the last person we'll see do it because of the way starting pitching has been minimized?
I mean, it'll be the last person for a long time. It would take a very special player regarding longevity, the fact that
I want to see
pitchers
how many,
don't pitch many innings.
I want to see how many Verlander has. He's the one guy that I would be that I think could get there, but
it would take like an 18-year-old phenom, like someone
Paul Skeens, maybe.
Yeah.
Paul Skeens?
Someone who came in young, right?
And he gets 10 strikeouts a game, basically.
Right. Yeah. Skeens is a good one.
Okay. Well, Verlander already did it, and so did Scherzer.
Right.
So yeah, Kershaw.
If it wasn't for the injuries, would have had it too a while ago.
Chris Sale has 2,528.
Yeah, he
but
can
he's
get there.
37.
He can get there though.
And he gets hurt a lot.
He's the only other guy in the top 50 besides Kershaw. Garrett Cole has 2,200. He's another one that may get there.
Maybe he's youngish enough that he could get there. Yeah.
Yeah, and Charlie Morton and Yu Darvish are also on the list, but
they're old.
Yu Darvish.
They're barely over 2,000. So the other thing I don't think we'll ever see is another 300-game winner. I don't think
that one is way more. I think 3,000 Ks will get there. We'll get enough people to get there. 300 victory is going to be almost
because everybody.
impossible.
I mean, when's the last time we had? How many 20-game winners do we have?
Not very many.
0.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that used to be standard. We have 4 or 5 every year.
Right.
Like one year the Orioles had 4 starters all won 20 games.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that'll never happen again. Boy, Nolan Ryan had 5,700 strikeouts.
That's insane.
The next closest guy had 4,800.
Who's that? Who's the next closest?
Randy Johnson.
Oh, wow.
And then Roger Clemens, Steve Carlton, Burt Blyleven. But Nolan Ryan's the only guy ever to go over 5, and he has almost 6.
Wow.
George, are you surprised there weren't more trades during the draft last night? I kind of was.
Yeah, I thought the Nets had 5 first-round picks, and they used them all. Like, I thought for sure they were dealing. I thought OKC would they did deal, but I thought they'd be more wheeling and dealing because they have future picks that they would use. So I thought there'd be at least another couple of trades, I would say. I think there'll be way more today, though. In the second round, there's always way more maneuvering.
You know, it's interesting, though. There was 2 things that stood out to me from the draft. One, how many centers were taken. That just feels like a position that we all started.
When most centers are being played off the floor in games.
No, but if you look at it, the best teams have at least 2 guys.
Yeah, they have a couple guys that are like that vertical threat.
Right. Or in a case of like Cleveland, for example, Mobley's like super versatile. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like you have like one versatile guy and one like vertical spacer.
Yeah. So there was a lot of first-round centers taken, which is not normally a place where you see big guys taken in the modern NBA.
Yeah.
And then number 2,
we're back, baby, with the big men.
Yeah, like everybody needs one now.
Yeah.
And I think
Lakers need 2.
Yeah,
at least
they. And then I also thought like there was a couple of teams that I have no idea what they're doing.
Yeah,
like, what's
there's always
Portland
that.
doing?
Yeah.
They have like 4 centers now.
They have to deal with the Lakers should be calling Portland.
Yeah, get Robert Williams now.
Right.
Well,
Time Lord.
And now Phoenix went out and picked up 2 centers last night.
Yeah.
Well, they have Nick Richards, but Nick Richards is just a guy.
Well, and Mark Williams, nobody knows if he's healthy, and now they've traded for him.
And Malawach is going to be good.
Malo. Yeah, I mean, I still but what New Orleans giving up an unprotected first? That was nuts.
Yeah, Joe Dumars was having a moment yesterday. I felt like
you know what
it's
like?
been a minute since he's been a GM.
Like, you know how like when somebody hasn't played poker in a while, and they get down and they just start like playing every hand.
Yeah,
that's what felt like with Joe Dumars last night.
Yeah,
I realize I'm asking you guys to guess, but how do you think the Lakers solve their issues at center? They have to go get big guys. So they do it through free agents? They trade? What do they do?
All of the above is what I would say.
Okay.
So they got to trade for one. They got to sign like a cheap veteran in free agency, and they should draft one tonight.
Yeah, they should draft one tonight.
Well, they moved up 10 picks. that either means there's somebody that they have their eye on, or there's a list of
group of
people
guys, yeah.
that they don't think will be around at 55
Right.
that they wanted to be in contention with.
Wait, do they really have 55 again?
They had 55
again.
That's crazy, right? The Bronny pick.
Today they traded with somebody to move to 45.
Bulls.
Chicago.
Yeah.
And and
I think that's embarrassing for the Bulls.
What?
To just
for
trade
money?
back for money. You're a top 5 city in the
Well,
NBA.
Jerry Reinsdorf has only paid the tax once.
That's embarrassing.
Yeah.
With
the Bulls. Yeah.
For the Bulls.
Yeah.
I'm like, come on.
One time in his entire ownership, he is. You counting Beto? He has paid
Beto's
the
like
tax
me.
one
He doesn't
time.
come in if there are already 4 people here.
And it was the year Beto Pau Gasol went there.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah.
Yeah, the Lakers just need to get 3 guys and hope one of them's good.
Oh, Beto, I forgot to tell you this. I ran into one of your guys walking down the street in Idaho.
In Idaho?
I'm walking
Beto,
down.
you have guys in Idaho?
Yeah, yeah.
I got a guy everywhere, but not Idaho.
So I'm walking down Main Street in Coeur d'Alene, and sitting outside having having lunch with his wife is Robert Sacre.
Oh, no way.
Yeah.
What's he doing there?
He lives there.
Yeah, he lives in, he has a big ranch.
Oh, he went to Gonzaga, right?
Yeah.
So he has
all
a
those
huge ranch
Gonzaga
in
guys
Gonzaga.
hang out there in Coeur d'Alene.
Yeah. Yeah, he's like a high school basketball coach now and a huge ranch in Spokane.
Hey, maybe we can sign him.
No.
We need size, Beto.
You can teach size, but that's about it. Love the guy, but man.
Those
Didn't you do a burrito eating contest with him once?
We went to El Tepeyac, Manuel's El Tepeyac in Boyle Heights, where we have a pound burrito we did for Backstage Lakers.
Pound burrito.
He crushed it. I don't know what I was doing.
So I was talking about you earlier. When I first got a job at KCAL, I went to the assignment desk, like my first or second day there, and they were sending me out to go do a story someplace, and they assigned me to a photographer named Steve Medina, great guy. And they said, by the way, Medina's worked here for 20 years. He knows all the great hole-in-the-wall taco spots all throughout the city. So I used to lean on him for that. Now I lean on you for
Yes,
that.
sir.
What is the best off-the-beaten-path hole-in-the-wall taco available in Los Angeles today?
Where I take Cappy, Mariscos Jalisco, which is right here in the Fashion District.
Okay.
Where it's a shrimp taco, fried, and Chrissy Teigen once saw him on TV. Jonathan Gold had him on, and she legit called them, and they went to her house. But they have a couple different trucks. Fried shrimp tacos, they're fantastic right here in the Fashion District. That's a great spot.
Shrimp tacos,
but it's
that's
also
good.
the Jonathan Gold, the late great Jonathan Gold. He'd always have them on their top 100 list. But you got to venture on the other side of the 405, John.
I'll go wherever you tell me. Hey, Beto, I'll go to wherever you want to tell me
There's
to go.
a couple by
Like, you know, I
SoFi.
hang out in Hawthorne and Lawndale
Yes,
all the
they're
time.
right there. So there's a couple in Hawthorne, right by SoFi, off of Prairie. There's a couple of good spots. I don't know the names. That's when you know they're good.
Right.
I like you get to Prairie, then you go right, and then
so
left. There you go.
my spot
I
that I,
don't go to
take
the
all the
valleys.
out of towners. No, it's okay. It's around here. I take everyone to Guisados.
It's legit. Yeah.
Yeah?
It's good. It's
Is
good
that-
stuff.
so it's up there?
Right there by Dodger Stadium.
Yeah.
It's good.
That's okay. So I feel like that's a good spot to take out of towners too.
Guisados is good, but the portions are smaller. Go down a little bit on Sunset.
Okay.
And there's a guy who sets up usually about 3:00.
Yeah.
And he has the trompo, the big spit
Oh,
going
yeah.
around. Oh yeah.
I love that.
That's
So
why it's
now I'm
amazing.
trying to remember the name of that place in Rancho Palos Verdes that is an Italian restaurant that's in a strip mall, but the food is insane.
Yeah.
You and I have talked about it before.
Giorgio's?
No, it's
It's by the Trader Joe's.
It's right next to in between a Ralph's and a laundromat in a strip mall. If you're driving down PV Drive and heading to Terranea, it's right there.
In that Golden Cove?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. And I'm
Oh,
trying-
yeah, there's that. Right, the
Yeah, there's-
Italian place on the corner.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm
See, but
looking
I
it
feel
up.
like there is nothing better than those like pop-up shops where they do the pastor right off the spit with the pineapple and
Gotta
stuff.
go to Pacoima, Momo.
I know, I do.
Yeah, I know you do.
I do, man.
I take what's that? What have you been making? What kind of milk?
Oh, the nut milk.
milk.
Yeah, I make the almond milk.
She was just saying that she's back on that crazy diet.
I know.
So she's making that.
If you want, I'll
again.
bring some almond milk. I'll bring some nut milk in
No, we're
tomorrow.
good. I got in the car. I worked out with my daughter this morning. One of the first times ever. I get in the car.
Yeah.
And I hear you saying, "Yeah, you just got to soak the nuts." I'm like, "Oh, okay." I didn't know I was listening to Howard
I'm
Stern
talking
with my
about
daughter.
almonds. I don't know what you're thinking.
Ramona and I spent way too much time in the Midwest over
Yeah,
the
we
last
did.
couple of weeks.
I've been in so many cities, whether it be stopovers or actual games, and I'm happy.
Are you
to be
taking
home.
some time off? You need it.
I really do, and there is no time off forthcoming. It's like now when
I
we
gotta go
come
to Summer
back,
League in a couple weeks.
yeah, it's like there's the free agency, and then I have so much NBA today in July because
Me too.
like they basically are like, oh, you guys are local, you can just do all those shows in the summertime. So we kind of have to
Well,
say.
but July is an important month to be on. I think.
Basketball.
Yeah, but it's mostly over by the middle of July.
Yeah.
Sedano, the name of that Italian place is Bettolino Kitchen.
Oh, yeah, Bettolino Kitchen, yes.
On Palos
You
Verdes
definitely
Boulevard.
need to go to Bettolino Kitchen.
Yeah, I've been there. It's really good.
Oh, no, that you're talking about it's literally next to Ralph's, like off of Redondo.
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
It's actual
I've been there.
address.
At the bottom of the hill.
Redondo Beach.
Like Riviera.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good spot right there.
Yeah. And it's
They
like
always change the
Riviera.
menu.
you would never think that this is a place that has great food because of where it's located.
It's like
and
the
it's
Bevmo.
fantastic.
Right. They have some table. It's probably like 10 or 15 tables inside, and then like 4 tables outside.
Yeah, you go
in
to
the strip mall.
Bevmo, and then their
The
corkage,
Bevmo is next door.
Their
yes.
corkage fee is only $15.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah, just go to Bevmo first.
That's why we're trying to get Cappy to move to the Riviera. He could be a Riviera.
he
guy.
Cappy would totally be
Yeah,
a
he could.
Redondo Riviera guy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
He's not Manhattan Beach though. No.
You can't have him
He
there.
says when
Country club for him.
I had him at the concert, the big concert that they do in the beach
Beach Life.
Beach Life. He said, he goes, I'm moving to Manhattan Beach. And then, of course, the next day he was over it.
Yeah.
But
No, the Manhattan Beach people are over him.
And well, actually, Rachel was calling the shots as usual. She goes, "We're not moving up here." She's got too much going on down south.
Yeah.
But I love it when I find a hole in the wall place like Bettolino that you
So
never
good.
expect to be good, and they're great. Which is better. That's why I always call you. You always have those great
The thing
kind of
is,
off the beat.
John only sends a text randomly at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah,
I'm
hey.
like, are you going now?
Yeah,
Like, I forget he
because
doesn't
what it means
sleep.
I'm coming home from a
Wait,
concert.
he's up.
Yeah,
So there's that.
And like tomorrow night, I'm doing Irrelevant Week. I MC Irrelevant Week every
Oh,
year.
yeah,
And
that's right.
tomorrow night is the Lozman banquet.
It's in Orange County, right?
Yeah, it's in Newport.
Okay.
At the Balboa Bay Club. So, but when I'm done, Beto, I'm heading back like 11, 12 o'clock at night. I'm looking for a spot.
Oh, I got you.
All right.
yeah.
So so I've got that 40-minute jaunt
You're
from
off the 5. There's a couple.
yeah.
We're not leaving you in Santa Ana. We'll get you something closer.
So the second round of the draft is tonight.
Right.
I'm surprised actually that ESPN and ABC turned this into its own night because normally
Just ESPN, no ABC tonight.
Okay, so normally in the second round, not a lot happens. I mean, there'll be a couple of guys that hit,
Right.
but it's not like the NFL draft where a second rounder could change the fortunes of your team,
Yeah.
right?
But what else are you going to put on June 26th? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That maybe a couple million people may watch.
Right.
You know?
Yeah, why not? All right, Sedano and Beto are coming up next. Momo and I are back here tomorrow. Good game today.
Yeah,
So
it was good, right?
we'd like to promote that we're 2 hours on 710, and then the 5 to 6 hour, we can be your second screen as the draft is starting. That's what we did yesterday. 5 to 6, we were on YouTube only as the second screen for your draft viewing.
George, were you ever up for any of those like draft positions, like the sideline reporter or whatever it is? Like, were you in the mix?
I
for
actually
any of that?
For like these broadcasts,
Like the
No, I want
Monica
nothing to do with the draft.
McNutt job.
Yeah, so
That's a hard job.
I did
Mark
that one
Jones
year.
did that for like 20 years. I
Oh my
remember.
God, I did that once for the radio
a lot.
side. It was in 2021.
Because a lot of times they don't have anything to say.
Yeah, and also like you're literally cramming for the test on the flight there.
Yeah.
Like you kind of know who
Yeah,
the
I'm
first
good.
10, 15 guys are,
Yeah.
but you got to get all the way through the first round.
But this is why I don't mind. See, at Summer League, like you kind of
Yeah.
have to do that too.
Yeah.
But the good thing about Summer League is it's not like a traditional broadcast,
Right.
like game broadcast. Like you're almost like you're talking about the game. You're doing the. You're
But
call-
you can put somebody in the third chair.
Right,
Yeah.
and you can have a conversation, you can do an interview, like it's a little looser. So that's why I don't like the draft because, to your point, you have to be locked and loaded and ready to
Yeah.
roll, and you can't make mistakes in that situation.
No.
Like you can't screw up a kid, his background or wherever, or
Yeah.
like the mom and dad's name or something. Like you got to really know. And I'm just like, by the time the finals are over, I have no more bandwidth.
I've not.
I need a couple
That was the
weeks.
quickest turnaround I've ever had.
I always
Yeah,
feel
yeah.
bad for Adam Silver, and tonight I think it'll be
Yeah.
Mark Tatum. If they mispronounce the person and gets
Oh, it's
drafted,
terrible.
and then the person turns out to be a star,
Yeah.
and then that video ESPN
Forever.
goes
Lives
back
forever.
to, yeah, it lives forever. All right,
Yeah.
Beto and Sedano next, ESPN LA.